3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the NYRD podcast. This is our first attempt at video feed, so hopefully it turns out okay. I'm Andrew Detterbeck. I am the Dungeon Master for our podcast and our group. And there's a few people here. We've got Jason, Dawn, Cole, and then Joel is not here tonight. Though you'll know their characters by their voices. First up, we do have some announcements. Jason, what do we got?
Well, since we have revamped everything from our previous podcast, that was Ready Dice Roll, we got new Instagram account that it's under NYRDcast, that's NYRD_cast. Our Facebook page, it's just the NYRD Podcast. As far as where you can listen to all of our wonderful, sexy voices each week, that's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that, under the NYRD Podcast as well. And we have a little bit of merch on Bonfire. That's bonfire.com/store/nerd-podcast-store/. We got some.
Nice little rhyme.
It's a bit much. It's a nice little mouthful, but hey,
we're working on it.
Yeah.
We'll find some place to put that in text.
There we go. Yes. We have a few shirts, some mugs, and who knows? Again, this is a newer, bigger adventure for us. So we're going balls deep, as they say in the Dodgeball movie.
Which, imagine if that's the funny thing about movies. When you go back and watch things from like 10 years ago, if they had been made like Tropic Thunder, imagine if they made Tropic Thunder. Crazy. But we're here for D&D. Before we get going, though, let's have a quick recap. Oren?
42 Autumnal, 1013, Third Age. Moons in Kiris and Foxvigus. More than a fortnight has come and gone since Drake and I first arrived in Hawk's Landing, the first of many odd cities we are sure to pass through on our journey. Our inquiries about Grandfather's research led us to a meeting with a rather dramatic figure calling himself the Nighthawk, who, incredibly, actually does transform into a hawk, a trick I've determined to learn for myself one of these days. A representative of the infamous Hive, this Nighthawk suggested we may be useful to one another, and bid us meet him at, when else, midnight. Upon arriving at the designated shady back street, we met first with Kevwood and Remington, a Goliath and a dwarf respectively, trained fighters bearing the sign of the Ballancourt clan, which I have seen in my visions. These had seemingly the same appointment as Drake and I, and at midnight, the Nighthawk offered the four of us his bargain. Connection with a Hive contact in the Fentigian Federation who has knowledge of Grandfather's rune, as well as safe passage across the Federation's border and protection on its other side, in exchange for our retrieving a certain magical item from the Cathedral of the Sister Jewel. To be frank, if I were not desperate, I would not even consider lying down with the cutthroats and swindlers of the Hive. But as it is, we have no other leads, and I can trust in Drake's bladesong should all else fail. We had the opportunity to sample Remington's metal some days out of Hawk's Landing when, having made camp for the night, I was awakened from trance by the loud sound of his voice singing a battle hymn as though drunk. Upon emerging to ask after his welfare, I discovered that he was alerting us that we were set upon by two bandits. In the blink of an eye, Drake and Kevwood, awakened by the noise, were out of their tents with weapons drawn. Acting on instinct, I spoke a word of seeming to call the sound of many boots out of the dark, and through this deception managed to convince our assailants to leave before we were forced to harm them. Though we all escaped unharmed, I find myself frequently troubled by the memory of Remington standing there before the campfire, warhammer in hand, with a clarity in his eyes speaking to an unquestioning readiness to kill his foe. Looking around the camp that night, even at my dear brother, I understood for the first time the gravity of my undertaking, and that everyone in this company save myself is ready if the need comes to kill. Am I? Will I have to be? And is it worth it to end lives, even wicked ones, by my own hand, just to pursue grandfather's research? I suspect I shall ponder on this for moons to come. Having arrived now in Honeyhollow, a village just a short distance from the border of Fentigian, and made contact with the Nighthawk's man, we stand ready to leave on the morrow for our foray into Federation territory, on the Hive's dubious errand. We shall have to depend on them for our safety in a land where the Elfane are held as prized slaves whenever they can be gotten, but I remain deeply suspicious. If I needed something stolen from inside the Federation, the only reason I'd send a handful of unknown and inexperienced foreigners to the work is if I didn't actually care whether they accomplished the task. I cannot as yet determine the true nature of our errand, or the motives of those who set us on it, but of one thing I am certain. Something here stinks. Let us hope that I can find it before it kills my brother and I.
Perfect. So, in front of you stands Barry the blacksmith. He looks at each of you. I'll have your ledger's certificate of ownership ready in the morning. I'll stay up all night. We'll leave just before the sun rises. Now, there is one other thing I need to ask you. What do you plan on doing with your beast?
We cannot take them with us, I assume.
Well, they're a bit uncommon, if you haven't noticed. The horses are horses, but they're strange. I can tell just by the small amount of time I saw them.
Can I insight this guy?
Sure.
This guy trying to steal my horse. Oh, sorry, that should have been in the trade.
No, you're fine. You can move the tray closer if you'd like.
Oh, that's a 6.
6. Seems to be telling the truth. No evil maltent.
Are Quaigmenvelin horses that much different from normal ones?
Well, the way they're manicured is a bit strange. As well as you travel with massive beasts with antlers.
Yeah, no one is arguing over those.
Of course.
I feel like we can probably throw some dirt on our horses, harness them with saddles like these non-Elfane folk.
That would do for the horses, yes.
As for the others, that would be the business of our friends Kevwood and Remington.
Well, you see, is there a place to buy horses around here?
It is my job to get you safely into the Federation, so I'd be able to loan you 2 horses, and we can keep your, I don't even know what to call them, but your
it's an elk and a bison, my friend.
A bison?
Yeah, sure.
A bison and elk. Okay. I mean, we can stable them here. I'll cover that. I mean, I can keep them here at my smithy. But I just know none of you are human. Where you're going is dangerous for non-humans. So.
Speaking of which, do you happen to know offhand if there is a place in town that I could procure for the materials necessary for recording spells? Is there a purveyor of
were you looking for
arcane
anything
goods?
particular?
Paper and ink, but it has to be a particular kind.
The general goods store might. I mean, it's really one of the few stores in town that might have it. But again, it's midnight already.
True enough. We shall sort it out.
What I can do is, I for sure where you're going, there's going to be paper and ink. Do you need it for the trip? Is what you're saying?
My brother and I are able to manipulate Livelpoor in a way that will allow us to appear to be other than we are.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He
I've heard
knows
of
how
such
to do
things.
it, but I will need some materials.
Well, and at that point, because I have the spell slots. Yeah, I have 3 spell slots. You see me just meld into an exact copy of him using Disguise Self.
Whoa,
and then I will raise my hand again, and I'll appear as Kevward,
Shit, that's something.
and then I will drop it and back
I've
to
never
my-
seen it in person. I mean, you were indistinguishable.
There are limits, my friend.
What
but
I can do
to the
is-
naked eye, yes.
I can get you into the shop. I'll make sure coin is left behind to cover it. I installed the doors on that spot, so
Well, I'll be quite honest, I was hatching a plot, but yes, I would have left a coin.
rather than you damage the door, I can safely remove it and put it back. It's gonna make me real tired in the morning. Just be prepared. You're gonna have to help me along the way. I can tell you where to go, but I'm not gonna be good for anything other than telling you direction.
Again, just you doing this is a great help, and even though you are contracted to do it, it's still that you're willing to go through all this, and so just anything you need, point, and I'll be there.
Don't
To
worry,
help
my
out.
friend. If you need protection, I got you.
Well, I know you were concerned. You don't seem a lot to work with, Hive. Neither am I. It's more out of obligation. So I'm going to get you across. My brother will safely get you into the Fingerlands. What you're looking at is we have about a 3 days journey. And it's going to be tough. It's through jungle, most of it. And it's not going to be safe. It's going to be about 2 solid days before we can take camp. So get as much rest as you can tonight. And then I'll meet you back here at my smithy before sunrise, and we leave immediately. Is that understood?
We'll be there.
All right. Then I'll take my leave, get those certification of ownership done. Damn. It's going to be tough, but I'll get it done and get that. Is there a certain amount of paper and ink that I should be looking for?
The amount that this will buy, and I hand him 50 pieces of gold.
I have no clue. I'll just get what I can and leave that behind.
Well, no, it may be better if I go with you then. It is a particular kind that must be used. It's possible they won't even have it.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. Here, let's go over now. He looks over his shoulder and
In the meantime, is there anything that the three of us could do to help, expedite things, so that way, I guess there's not as much to do in the morning before we take off?
if you would like to make sure you can get my things together. Yeah, I think that would be best. If you inside, I've got a bedroll, and you list off a few supplies and things they'll need. Other than that, the only other thing you could prep for me is in my desk, just inside the door. There's some paper and ink that it's special paper made specifically for certification of ownership in the Federation. You'll notice it's got gold filigrees around the edge and designs on it.
So probably pretty similar to what we use for our spell books then. So yes, it should.
Possibly, yes. Yeah, but it was Orin, wasn't it?
Indeed.
Orin, let's you and I head over to the shop over here.
Sure.
The rest of you, I'll see you in the morning.
And we don't have to RP that.
Yeah.
Unless you've got something.
Well, you see him stride across, looking over his shoulder and making sure nobody's out. And he gives a light knock on the door. Listens for a minute, and then you see him pull out like a small flat metal device, slide it in one of the hinges, and you see him take his elbow and and it slides, and it lets out a bit of a metal on metal creak, and then he lifts the door, and he's a dwarf, so he's sturdy, and you see him. It's a thick door. He sits it to the side, and he says, "Take a look."
Okay. Do I find inside like a spell?
You have dark
book
vision, so
quality?
give a
ink?
investigation.
Okay.
It would just be a straight roll since you have dark vision.
Oh, that's good. You said investigation?
Please.
21.
21. You do. You find the amount of ink and paper that you require.
Okay, I am spending 50 gold on that, and I will spend 2 hours during our long rest, if you allow me, to copy disguise self from Drake's spellbook into my own.
You have roughly 7 hours. You'll get a short rest, but not a full long rest if you spend 2 hours copying that tonight. He did say it'll be 3 days before you get to the Federation, or within the Federation. So.
All right, yeah, and you're right. It is not. You can't do it as part of a long rest, where it doesn't specifically say that you can.
How about this? We'll roll a Constitution saving throw. If you're able to roll high enough, if you'd like, this is the option. You can roll a Constitution saving throw and attempt to do that. If you roll high enough, you'll be safe.
I think it's fair. I'll take a point of exhaustion to stay up late and copy this into my spellbook. Okay. It's important.
Was there anything else you wanted to copy or do since you're having to stay up anyway?
No. I mean, I'll have to spend the whole and I'm going to go to sleep after that.
Okay.
But yeah, I can take a point of exhaustion. I have Portent to help me if I get.
Oh, do you want to go ahead and roll that? Yeah.
For the next day.
For the next day, yeah. That makes sense. Were you two doing anything, or just going straight to sleep after you take care of those things?
I'm waiting for the bartender.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
What was her name? Shirley, I think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. You wait. You go back to the, what was it? The annoying vanilla bean inn, and Shirley is there, sweaty and waiting. I'm guessing you spend the night with her since you gave her coin?
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to bed with her. You already had your 1 minute adventure earlier in the evening. Yeah. Were you doing anything else?
I'll find her and see if she'll let me give her one. I don't like to have a negative balance.
Okay.
Other than that, I would do. Drake would probably just do a little quick 30-minute kata session, and then.
Okay. So you're not searching Barry the Blacksmith's place at all, I'm guessing? You're going to leave that alone? I was so expecting somebody to know that when he's gone, they're
Listen,
checking his place out.
If somebody's not being a murder hobo, just let them not
I'm
be
just
a
so
murder
used to
hobo.
it.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, yes. How many things have we done to where that's immediately what we do? But no,
that's for the listeners to go back and listen to the Underdark campaign. That was fun.
Yes.
That was a good campaign.
Which is still left open-ended, but anywho.
It's true.
So no, we're a good party. So no, Drake does exactly, gets the things he needs, goes out, breaks that healthy sweat, and then I will go into the normal trance.
You two get your long rest. You have your point of exhaustion. You rolled your portent dice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you want to announce them, or were you good keeping them to yourself?
I like hanging on to them.
That's a fun. So you wake up a little bit before the sun rises, and you notice this village is pretty quiet still. The only thing you hear is Shirley down in the kitchen of the inn prepping for the day as you awake. I imagine you head straight for Barry's smithy.
Yes.
Okay. You get there. He is waiting. He has a sack over his shoulder, and he says, "All right, ready?
I believe so.
You have your steeds. Are you guys on your horses or walking with them?"
Yeah, I'll be on my horse.
And you dirtied them a little bit, or you will along the journey.
Yeah.
You are leaving Sebastian and your elk behind, or are you going to bring them? Sorry, Joel, you don't get to make this decision.
We're gonna leave him behind.
Okay.
I mean, he does seem like a trustworthy fellow, and he and Remington, they seem to be pals at least, so they should be in good hands.
Yeah. Well, they should be fine.
All right. What I'll do is I already left a note with Shirley to tend to your animals. If you just want to tie them up to the post behind my shop, and then we'll make our way. So you go tie off the steeds. You untie the other two horses that are standing. Or he was standing there with the two horses for you, and a third that for himself. That's actually like a large pony. And he begins to lead you into the jungle ahead. As you enter, the canopy above darkens the sun. Just the light that had begun to come out of the sky, and it looks like it's dark, like midnight.
So similar to Mirkwood.
In a way, yes. The only thing different between like Mirkwood and this is obviously this is more of a jungle or equator style forest. Very humid. I mean, you woke up a little bit sweaty. And as you enter the actual forest line or the jungle, you feel the humidity increase even more.
Do we expect to actually cross the border today? Or do we expect that we will be out overnight?
He said it's going to take about 3 days.
Okay.
He's going to take you 2 days to get you to basically like a refuge is what he said, a spot to rest. And then he'll leave you with directions at that point.
Got it. I was just preparing my spells for the
No,
day,
absolutely.
So.
I mean, there are things that could happen, but yeah, you guys make your way, and you're getting roughly after a couple hours. Is there anything you're doing along this? Are you trying to talk to him at all, or?
I mean, I'm just being quiet and like observing my surroundings as we go.
Because again, this isn't anything like Quaymenvalar. Same, but different, I guess.
Yeah.
So I guess we're both kind of open-eyed, taking the scenery in.
Yeah. As we go, like I'll point out interesting plants to Drake, and like we can talk about it a bit. I'm appreciating being back in a verdant place.
Yeah, I'll make some small talk throughout the way, just kind of getting to know the area a little bit.
So you're kind of talking. You guys, if you want to make perception checks while you're traveling throughout this first day.
Yeah, I was just double checking my spells too.
And
Nope.
And as you are trying to chit chat with him, he's half responding. He more just kind of looks at you and doesn't respond half the time, and the other half he'll look and just say, "That's true. That's funny." And a lot of times it doesn't even match up with what you were asking or saying. He's not paying attention. But he's not being rude about it. He's attempting to try and put up the facade that he is listening, but he's really not.
Yeah.
And at one point, about halfway through the day, and it's stayed roughly the similar type of terrain the whole first day. The whole first half of that day, it's just been typical jungle, birds everywhere. I mean, just the sound of the jungle is deafening at times. And then there's points where you get closer to clearly where the birds were, and they flutter out of the trees, and it gets a little bit quieter. And then you guys, I imagine, attempt to get a little bit quieter to move through the jungle at that point. And about halfway through the day, he stops, takes his canteen out and drinks, wipes his forehead. All right, so let's take a quick, small little break, because in about an hour's time, we're going to come to a river. It's roughly 30 feet across, and it's going to be tough to get across. It's only roughly 4 to 5 feet deep, but being a dwarf myself, you'll have no problem, big guy. But the two of you'll be just your head above the water. But it's not the safest thing. There's a reason why this is one of the few ways to get into the Federation.
Should we worry for our animals?
I've heard of creatures living in the water.
Like we brought our horses with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You guys haven't been riding them just because there's so much growth. You've more just been tugging them behind. And that's where he continues on. He says, well, once we get to the river and we begin to cross, we're going to need to do it quickly but quietly. These beasts, they have, from what I hear, I've never seen them, never encountered them, but stories are they can sense things in the water. So you want to move quick, but try and not disturb it too much. It is a flowing river. So, plus I don't want the current to take any of us. Right. You, again, I don't think will have any difficulty. But I'm just trying to give you a little, if there's anything you need to do, let's take a quick, short little time to rest up, prep ourselves for this river.
Alright. Orin just taps his staff against the ground, says, "Hi!" And there's sort of a prismatic sheen over him for a moment as he casts mage armor.
Okay.
That'll be active for the next 8 hours.
Very nice. Okay. Anything? You want to cast any spells?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Barbarians are known for their spells.
Of course.
Was it in Guardians Pelvic Sorcery?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Were you doing mage armor or do
I
you...
can actually wear armor, so no.
Oh, that's
I'm
right.
good.
You're Blade Singer. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, it's Brian, right? Brian the blacksmith.
No,
Barry.
Barry, yeah. Well, between all of us, we should have, decent lengths of rope. I'm sorry, I'm volunteering you, Kevward, but could we, put a bunch of ropes on, use them as like secure lines? Would that help out any, you think, or?
I mean, if Kevward's willing to cross first alone,
I'm okay with that.
are you sure? It's quite dangerous, my friend.
I'm sure.
All right. Well, it is possible for him to, I guess, tug a bit of a line across. We can tie it off. There are trees along the shoreline. That might work. Your horses, though, the rope won't be able to help them. So if they'll listen to you, which it seems I don't see any reins on them.
No.
Will they move across the river without any push?
Take a moment to sort of pat my horse. Do I get any impression of how he feels? Should I roll
the
animal
horse?
handling?
Yeah, you can roll animal
Okay.
handling for that.
As a barbarian, I'm
As
going to
well.
cast guidance on him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's 17.
17. Would you like to do it for your horse as well?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to use the roll that we never used earlier for a dirty 20.
What did I have you? Oh, for perception.
Perception, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can just choose to win what to use it for.
Well, I mean,
I'm too nice as a DM. Well,
You don't have to
yeah,
do-
it seems
You
the
don't-
horses. Oh, I don't. Don't worry, it'll come. The horses, yeah, your steeds both seem to respond. Actually, as you pat yours, Orin, it lifts one of its leg and gives kind of like a slight bow. Yeah. So you guys are good. So you see Barry actually rooting through his pack and grabs out a bit of rations and takes a couple bites and then stuffs it back in, ties it tight, and it's a leather sack, and he ties it, and then you also see him take out, before he ties it, a piece of like thinner, looks like almost like a really slick leather that he wraps over his bag, ties it with a drawstring, and then puts it back over his shoulder. And all right, let's get heading. It's just gonna be straight down here, as straight as you can go in a jungle, that is. Follow me. And he begins to move across further. As you begin to move forward, you see the trees are getting more and more dense. I mean, it was a dense jungle, but you find that it seems like the closer you get to this river, the plants are growing more and more, probably just from the more availability of water there year round. And at that point, you get to where the sound of rushing river fills your ears, and you move progressively closer, and you notice as the river begins to hit your ears, Barry slows down to a very slight walk. His horse gives a bit of a stir at one point, or his pony gives a stir at a moment, and then he pats its side and says, "Oh, it's okay, girl. It's okay." And he moves forward, and then the tree line opens up a bit, and that's when you see don't look. I saw you. Keegan. That is what you see in front of you. Yes, so you've got roughly, it doesn't have the grid for actually your minis, but this is roughly 30 to 35 feet across. You can see there are trees, so whose rope were you going to use?
We could use mine.
Your rope?
Yeah, I got 50 feet.
Okay. 50 feet. You're going to need a little bit more than 50 to tie it off on tree, secure on both sides, and get it across.
I'll tie mine to the end of it then.
Okay.
That makes 100.
Well,
let me make sure I actually bought rope, because I didn't... Oh, wait, yeah, never mind. I didn't buy rope on this character. I can't help.
Well, Remington.
Yeah, I was going to just use Remington. I would imagine he would have some.
Remington does. So, are you tying off to... Yeah.
And he hands out the rope.
Yeah. Remington has quite a cough today. He doesn't say much. That's kind of out of character for him. But you...
I just kind of...
Do you tie off the rope before you begin your trek across the water?
So I'll tie off the rope to the tree.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tie it to myself.
Okay. Nice. So just if you lose... Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll describe the river that you see. So it's not a super strong current, but it's not also like just a slight gentle. It's moving. It's a flowing river, but it has this green tint and algae floating on top. If you've ever seen like a pond in Georgia in the summer, that green slime almost looking on top. And I mean, you can see through enough to where you can see some small fish in the water, and you tie off the rope, tie off to yourself, and then begin to go across?
Yeah, I want to go across. I have got my axe in my left hand, and I'm going to take my horse with me.
Okay. And are you moving stealthily or attempting to?
I'm going to attempt to move stealthily.
As he's about to go into the water, Remington steps forward and goes... and touches him and casts guidance on him, which will only last 1 minute. So, you know.
I'm assuming guidance is a
wisely.
D4?
Yes.
Yeah. It's mini bless.
Roll your...
Stealth?
Yes.
That is... That's 11.
11.
Yeah.
Okay.
With
I didn't use
the D4?
No, not yet.
Yeah, roll your D4.
Better roll a 4.
So watch it be 12.
It's 12.
It's 12?
It seriously is 12.
Okay, first thing, I need a Constitution saving throw as you enter the water.
Cool, I got +5 to that. That's a 16.
16. Okay. You're going to take 1 poison damage. As you step into the water and the green algae begins to touch your skin, you feel a bit of almost like a toxin, a sting on your body.
Yeah.
But you shrug it off and you move forward. Next, you begin to feel some fish beginning to swarm around your body as you're moving across.
Great.
And then you see your horse jump and give out a loud scream. Go ahead and roll for initiative at this point.
Nice.
All right.
How far in am I?
What's your total movement normally?
30 feet?
So it'd be 15 feet in.
Okay.
So you're about halfway, and you see your horse give a jump, and blood begin to spill out from it underneath the water. It's hard to tell now. You can't see where it's bleeding from. And then you feel a nip at you. This is a surprise attack against you. 3 and a 6 is what I rolled. So both of those will an 11. No. Okay. What about an 8? So no.
Yeah.
Nothing hits you. You feel teeth begin to gnaw, and you're just kind of like, as you're beginning to see what's happening, you begin to flex, and your muscles tighten up, and the cords in your arms, and that's when we enter combat. Anyone above 20?
Orin is at What is my initiative? 21.
Ooh,
21. Anybody else above 20?
so close. Sadly, no.
No? Or that's Remington, not. So Orin was first.
Oh, that's right. I need to roll for him too.
We love you, Joel. Get better.
Anyone above 10?
19.
19.
16 for Drake.
Where Remington's last.
Remington's 8. Yeah.
Yeah. Cleric bringing up the end. Heal everybody up.
So it goes.
All right, so up first, Orin, you see this occur in front of you, and you see blood begin to spill out in the water, and it gets pulled by the current, but it continues to spill out. The horse is bleeding.
So he's
heavily.
mounted at this point still.
No, he was pulling the horse through.
Got it. Okay. Can I see can I see anything in the water that caused that to happen?
We'll use this as your horse, and then your character. Because the blood in the water, you can give a perception check at disadvantage. You guys are on the shoreline. Can I get your tokens and all? And then can you, or Sebastian stayed.
That's not going to help any. That's 7.
Will you get one for Barry the blacksmith?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Sorry, what was your perception?
7.
7? He is, yes.
So I don't even see what's caused this to happen.
No, you just see the horse like let out a scream, and then blood begin to spill out, and then you see your barbarian begin to shrug off something.
Okay. I don't really have anything for this situation.
And then the baddies are on deck.
Orin will hold his action to cast Firebolt at the first hostile that becomes visible and in range.
Sounds good.
That will be Orin's turn.
Don't want to move into the water?
Not just yet.
No. Baddies, and then Kevward, you're up after that.
In fact, I'm sorry, I'd like to back up from the I'd like to have a good 10 to 15 feet between me and the edge of the water.
Okay, so that would put you... Which one are you again? You're right here?
That's Orin.
Yeah, you'd be right about there, roughly.
Okay.
And at that point, you see this occur. You begin to pull the arcane energy into your hands, or staff, I guess, at this point. And then you are going to take another couple attacks. A 2 and a 3. Oh, they have advantage once there's blood in the water, though.
Oh, snap.
So the first one misses. That's better. All right, so a 23 to hit.
That hits.
All right. I'm going to roll just because. That's 15 piercing damage. And Constitution saving throw again for being in the water.
Yikes, that's only 9.
9. You take 2 poison damage.
That would be the sound of our first dice going into our custom dice gel that Andrew made.
And of course, it's Cole putting it there.
It's the reason we put it on that side of the table. That's their turn. And the blood, your horse, actually, I should make the attack against it. I mean, it's a horse. Ooh, that's a natural 20.
I basically lost the horse.
The horse, you see, give out another, like, and just drop and begins to, you can feel the weight of the horse getting pulled by the current behind you. That is their turn. Kevward, you are up, and then Drake on deck.
Good
Lord.
Oh, Barry. He's last. Bad 2 is Barry, even though he's not bad. He's not bad, Orin. You don't know. What would you like to do?
I'm going to take an action, disengage, and then I'm going to run across the river.
Okay, so your action is to disengage.
Yep. and I'm going to get it to the other side.
Okay. Yeah, you only needed 15 more feet. So you get, or it was 35 feet actually.
And
So
I
you're
have
right.
30 feet. And you said I went about
But
halfway.
it's half speed
That's
in the
true.
water.
So how much did I get? How far do I get?
You're 5 feet still in the water.
Okay.
Poor horse.
I dropped the horse.
You let go of the horse? Okay.
Well, at this point, it's dead weight to me.
Gotcha. Literally. Okay. Anything else on your turn? Do you want to... You already used your
bonus
action? Bonus action?
rage.
Okay. Smart decision. And that's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Drake, you are up. Remington on deck.
Okay. Do I see any change in the water since Kevward ran across and then the horse is just kind of floating there?
You do. I don't think it has a picture in here, but I'll look and see. Yeah, I don't think it has it. Yeah, it does. Okay. You see a few of these as the horse, it seems like a lot of the blood is drained out of it at that point. And it clears up just slightly. I mean, there's still blood coming out of it, but you see these begin to, they're swarming around it. These large fish. And you can see razor sharp teeth. Actually, give a perception check. You can use your bonus action to do a solid perception check, or you can just have that information without getting anything else.
Yeah, because I don't think I want to activate my blade song right now. So yes, I'll do that as my bonus.
Okay. Go ahead and give a perception.
11.
11. You see the teeth. No other real details, unfortunately. If you'd,
Okay.
sorry, if you had rolled a little bit higher, it might have given you something.
That's okay. Dang, I don't want my horsey to.
Mood lighting.
Oh yes, for the blood in the water also.
Exactly.
Right now, I will leave my horse on that side of the bank.
Okay.
I'll go. You said it's half movement.
Mm-hmm. In the water, it's
In the
half,
water.
unless you have a swimming speed faster. I mean,
Oh.
because it's so tall. It's not waist high. It's literally like just your head above the water. And you, it's kind of right at your nipples.
Yeah.
So 10 feet in. Is there any change?
To the water, you mean?
Yes.
I mean, you can feel the flow of the river, the green algae. Roll a Constitution saving throw once you step into the water.
Got +3. Ooh, nice. 21.
21. Okay, good. You only take 1 poison damage.
1 poison.
Yep. As you feel the water again hit your skin, same thing for him. And yeah, you don't feel anything on you besides the water.
Okay.
And you wear like brown, almost military style, or is that just your cape?
Just my cloak is.
Oh, okay.
Kind of. It's basically like Luke Skywalker's little cloak that he wears. You know, so it just has a cowl and a
Okay.
cape, so his arms are free
Okay.
to move around.
Do you have any of your weapons already drawn, or?
Drawn? No.
Okay, so they're underneath the water.
My rapier is underneath the water. My wooden katana
Understood.
is on my back.
Good. Okay. Yeah, you're good then. Anything else on your turn?
I'll move my final 5 feet.
Okay.
Well, there's no change thus far. I'll use my action to dash to get the extra movement.
Okay, so your total is 30 feet, so you get 15 more feet there. Okay.
Does that put me
You'll be right beside him.
right beside Kevward? All right, so yeah, I'll go beside him, and then I'll look.
Or wait, you moved 10 feet into the water, right?
Initially, yes.
And then another 5,
So that's my
because
half.
you were on the shoreline.
Correct, yes.
Okay, then yeah, you're good. That would get you right beside him. You'll be at 5 more feet till the edge of the water.
So yes, I'll post up on. Let's see, what side do you swing your
Did
weapon?
you bring your horse?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's right now it's on my left side.
Left side. So yeah, I'll go on the opposite side. So when he swings his big weapon, I'm not in the way, but I will
Yeah.
look back towards the bank to where my brother is.
Gotcha. All right. Very nice. Remington, you are up, and then Barry the blacksmith.
Okay, Remington is mounted as well, right?
Yes.
Other question. The horse in the water is...
Oh yeah. I mean, it's floating down the water. It's probably about
so no
15
death saves
feet.
for the horse.
Correct. Unfortunately.
How close to the shore is it at this point? Like, and this is within 6 seconds of its dying.
It would be about 10 feet off the shore.
10 feet.
Because that's where he got attacked right here, so it's...
What about the rope that would, like, Remington wants to take a hold of it?
Oh, the rope is still tied to him.
The horse's rope?
Oh, the reins, like, of the rope?
Yes.
Oh, okay. The horse's reins are still on it, floating in the water.
Well, he said he was holding on to that you had the reins.
I dropped the reins.
But
Okay.
he has the rope that was
I
tied to
have
his
the
body.
rope that's tied to him.
Okay.
That's
To
tied
the
to
tree.
me.
Can Remington get the horse? Like, I guess he would have to dismount and grab the reins, all within 25 feet of movement.
I would say, and pull the horse, try and pull it back.
He has a plan. Can I get to the horse?
You can. It'll use, it'd probably use full movement because he'll use some of it to get to the, like, it's half speed in the water. So it'd probably take about, I'd say 20, you'd have 5 feet left after you get to the horse.
Okay.
Or Remington would, sorry.
So Remington's going to run out and try to grab the reins of the horse.
Okay.
And what I want to do is hold the horse in a position in the stream that will distract the enemies and get it to eat the bleeding flesh.
Okay.
You
don't want to kill Joel's character?
I don't, but
Yeah.
like he rushes into the water
Okay.
and grabs the horse, and he drags it to a point just downstream of where we are crossing. And if I need to use an action to dash or make a strength check,
You can
whatever
use your
need
action
do.
to dash, and then I'll let you do a strength check as a bonus action, just as like a one big fluid thing.
Okay.
So you can get the distance you need to get it kind of tugged off to the side to where at least you can grab the like a root of a tree or something that's on the
Right.
side, and then put the horse in between you and the rest of the kind of the river.
Okay.
And then make a strength check to make sure you can hold the horse and the tree.
All right. So I will do that. However, you need to position that on
Yeah.
map.
So it would be like right about here, and then so there is a waterfall. I don't know if you guys noticed. There's
Right.
a waterfall, right
got it.
there. Remington,
All right. So first I'll
So
do his
it would be right
Constitution
there.
check against the algae.
correct? Yep.
That's no good. Sorry, Joel.
1. It would be half damage, but I can't go less than 1. So
So he takes 1 poison
1
damage.
poison damage.
Okay.
Yep.
Hell, I can't edit his.
Do you want sticky note?
That would be helpful. Yes, thank you. Is this your pencil or mine?
Everybody has their own. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I grabbed that for you guys. Well, I had my notebook and then I forgot
Yeah.
the writing utensils. Yay.
Anything? And what was your strength check?
Sorry, I want to make sure I get this HP recorded before I forget.
Understood.
Strength check is better. That is, if it's a straight strength check, then it is 15.
Perfect. Okay. It was a DC of 14 to hold the horse and the tree, and a little bit lower to
So,
just
so
hold the tree.
Remington charges forward, wades into the water, and reaches out to grab the reins of the dead horse. He drags it just a little downstream so that the blood isn't washing over the whole party while they're
Yeah.
trying to cross. And he holds in one hand a tree root sticking out of the bank, and the other hand the corpse, which he's keeping from going over the edge of the waterfall.
Yeah. The waterfall is
goes-
roughly 10 feet. Yeah. That's water in his lungs that he was coughing out. Very nice. Okay. Is that Remington's turn?
That is, yeah, he uses action, bonus
Yep.
action, and movement, yeah?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, that's
All right.
Remington's turn.
Barry the blacksmith is up. You see him go, oh, hell, shit. And you see him drop his bag, let go of the reins of his horse, pulls from his side. You actually see a smithing hammer. So a single-handed hammer, and you see him, you better be worth this. and he runs into the water. So he actually was closer. We just didn't position him closer. So he can get about to here, and he's gonna dash to get right beside as well on the other side. And as he runs through,
And hopefully he's not a commoner with one hit point.
he's a named NPC. Okay, so he's gonna take half damage, which is 2 piercing damage or poison damage. Okay, and then so that was his action to dash. Yeah, and that's his whole action. You see him just holding the hammer above the water, almost as if to keep it from rusting, but also ready to attack anything that comes at him. That's his turn. Orin, you are up, and then the baddies.
Okay, so Orin sees what Remington is doing, and he decides to cast Firebolt at the water where... Oh, did any point in that round the enemies become visible?
You held the action. You can make your roll.
Okay.
They did. They were kind of following the horse, and you saw their heads and some of their bodies come out of the water. They're roughly about 2.5 to 3 feet long.
Okay. That was only a 10 to hit.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that misses.
Okay. So do I see any of them now?
Yeah.
Okay. And
You see a swarm of them. You actually see a majority of them are around the horse. And then there's a small... As the blood had kind of followed, you saw it clear up a little bit around your companions.
Mhm.
And you can see there's roughly 5 to 10 around them. And they're about to attack. There's another 15 to 20 around the horse and Remington.
Got it. Okay, so what I want to do is, can I cross the river without taking an opportunity attack?
Where are you standing? You're right here?
Right there. Yeah, I'm like 15 feet from the bank anyway, so I have to go...
You would have to use your dash. They'll get you 15
Well,
more.
and I'm going to stay on my horse, which has a speed of 60 feet.
So that'd be 30 feet. You could get across...
So it's 15 feet to the water, and then that leaves me with 45
so
feet, which gets
20-ish.
cut in half as I move.
You
I
would
be
get to
able
about
move
here.
like 20 more feet through the water.
Yeah, so you'd get
without
right
dashing.
about here.
Okay.
If you went straight. If you're going straight to your allies, it might be a little different because it's angled.
Okay, I'm going to try to go straight across the river as far as I can on my horse's speed. Then.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the little thing, see if it... Yeah, perfect.
I'm going to cast Firebolt at the water behind and upstream from the fish, trying to scare them toward the smell of blood and free meat further down the
So
water.
if you look, you're kind of in the line. Do you want to do that before you get into the, like, cast it and then run across? Or...
Well, they won't be able to move until their turn anyway.
They're next.
So, well, yeah, but like no matter what happens, I'm gonna have to get.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I mean, if I can see where they are from the bank, I'll just stay on the bank and do it.
You can see them, like, they're kind of, like, coming out of the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that
you
is
can
what
see
I'd
them.
like to do from the bank then.
Okay,
Sorry
so
I
you
took
moved
so long on
15 feet to the bank. Do you want to still be on your horse, though? Prepped?
that. I'm gonna stay on my horse and
Okay.
from horseback cast Firebolt at the water
Make your
upstream
attack.
of those fish.
Love it. Make your attack at the water. I just want to see if you roll in that one.
Right. I didn't. That's an 18.
You hit that water so good.
Alright.
But as the fire kind of hits, the magical energy that creates, it kind of imbues it with a little bit of Levempor in it. But as it hits the water, the fire still sizzles, just kind of... and that your turn?
As long as it made like a bright flash and some heat,
Yep.
that's all I'm trying to do.
Okay.
That is indeed my turn.
Baddies are up. You see the ones... Let the dice decide.
Are they intimidated?
Actually, give me an intimidation roll too.
Well, do you want to just do it against like my spell save DC? Since
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, good
so
idea.
that is hidden. 14.
They rolled a 13.
They have a bonus to. Okay, cool.
So you see the roughly 5 to 8 that were around your companions. As the fire hits the water and a flash as it extinguishes, you see them as much as a fish can jump, they jump. And they swim. On their action, they spend their 40 feet to move towards... you did it up here, the firebolt, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
So yeah,
just
they
upstream of
swim,
them.
and you see them get the sense of the blood and head straight for Remington and the dead horse.
Sweet.
And the rest that were at Remington and the dead horse, majority of them stay at the dead horse because you pinned it in between. So it's going to be a single attack instead of advantage against Remington, since it's a small amount of the swarm. So that's going to be a 23 to hit, which will hit.
That'll connect for sure.
All right. Okay. So it's going to be slightly less. That'll be 4 piercing damage. Nobody has entered the water. Barry was the last one, so we're good. And that's their action. Kevward, you're up. Drake on deck.
And do we take poison damage at the beginning of our turn?
Oh yes,
while we're
if
in
you're
the water?
if you're in the water, every turn, the beginning
Okay.
of your turn, roll a Constitution saving throw.
That's right. My horse didn't get in the water, so okay. Sorry, how much damage did Rennie take?
4 piercing.
18.
18.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's half damage. That'll be 2 poison damage from the water. And it's your turn. You see the fish, these large, basically piranhas, kind of the way I'm picturing them, swimming away from where you were, which you would get an opportunity attack, actually. All 3 of you would. So opportunity attack, and then Barry the blacksmith gets one. Sorry, I should have done that on their turn.
Let's see.
Barry hits.
12.
12.
Yeah, for the opportunity attack.
12 total?
Yeah.
That misses. Barry the blacksmith, you see him take his hammer and go, "Ugh!" And you see 2 of the fish, actually, he hits through 2 of them as they swipe away, and you just feed them.
Delayed them.
Alright. And what was your...
Same as Kevward, 12.
Okay. Unfortunately, because your neck is just your head, it's hard to hit him. It's hard to get your actual sword out, or your rapier. That's their turn. Kevward, you're up. You already took the Constitution.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Remember, I rolled an 18. I had to take 2 poison damage.
Okay. Anything on your turn?
I'm going to actually help out my elf buddy, and I'm going to, if he allows me, hey, and I'm going to grab you. I'm going to drag him out with me.
It'll use half your movement,
Yeah.
but you can get both of you out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want him to take any more damage from the water, so I'm going to help him.
Yeah.
By pulling
You can.
him out.
At that point, your large, massive arms grab around him. Good thing you tied that rope. That was smart thinking. And you tug him out of the water, and you see you're covered in this green algae, this slime that's all over your body that was in the water. And you tug him out of the water, and you see the wounds on your body. I mean, you just see gashes and bite marks, and you don't wear armor, right?
No.
So yeah, I mean, you see tears in your clothing, open wounds completely on your basically lower half. And Drake, you're looking all right. He gets you out of the water. You guys both get to about there, unless you guys want to stay right on the shoreline.
I'd say right about there.
Okay.
Am I able with anything else to tie that rope to a tree, or is that it for me?
I'll let you use your movement to basically grab him and drag him.
I mean, it's pretty full body.
Yeah, that's what. Just seeing what if I'm.
That's at least using an attack to
Yeah,
grab.
I'd say
Yeah, that's where your action was. I would say that's probably
it.
all, unless you have a
Okay.
bonus action you want to do.
No, that's it.
No? Okay. Remember, we're doing no potions bonus action.
I mean, y'all can do what you want. I'm just not a coward, so...
Drake, you are up. Remington on deck.
Okay, so on the shoreline, what do I see out across the
I guess I
river?
should have put minis for here. You see some of the fish here, and then there's a large chunk of them here. And they're all...
Remington is holding the horse in place to draw the fish's attention.
And
Orin has-
Remington's in heavy armor.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
So he is really, I mean, at the beginning of his turn, do another strength, if I forget to ask. So a Constitution and a saving, just to make sure he can hold the horse.
Right, yeah.
And I wonder if they have any mechanics for that in water, like heavy armor, if it gives you disadvantage or anything for swimming, or.
I believe it does. Or I mean,
I'm not sure.
It's not going to here because
armor.
your strength holding on something, but if I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, there's mechanics for that. I don't know if they have anything specific for heavy armor though,
Heard.
but it makes sense that you would just sink.
Yeah.
So there's give or take 3 of the piranha-type creatures around the horse.
Well, it's a swarm, so there's roughly 20 something.
Well, at some point I'm going back for my horse, but
The rope is at least across,
Yeah.
that's true.
and they may be distracted by the horse. You don't know.
Okay, so
The
yes,
dead horse, that is.
appreciate it, Kevward, but I need my horse. So
You don't want to wait for him to tie the rope.
I'm still pretty strong, so I'm planted into the ground.
so yeah, I'll move back out.
Are you into the water or
Yeah.
do that saving throw?
Yep. Con save, correct?
Yep.
10.
All
So
right.
it's gonna be
That'll be 5 poison damage.
5 that time. Okay.
Hitting us hard at level 2.
Yeah.
Told you I'm not super nice. I'm just very nice.
And then
Yeah, I'm looking rough, by the way.
That's a damn barbarian. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking rough.
And then I will look at the swarm that's down by the horse, and I will attempt to do a firebolt as well.
Where at exactly? At the horse or at the swarm?
At the swarm, right there.
Okay.
To kind of
It will be at disadvantage because the blood around it, because where you're trying to hit. His was not because it was just clear water or green.
Well, he knows the general area the fish are in. That's all he's trying to hit, right? You're not
Yeah.
trying to hit a specific one.
No, just to try to disperse that as much as I can, and
Go ahead.
give.
Roll straight.
Uh,
Thank you, brother of brother.
I mean,
I just
Just
want to
saying.
get some pressure off of
Yeah.
Remington
You
since
can
he's
make an attack.
Captain America that
Yeah.
thing.
And actually, you can, even through his armor, you can see his biceps. Yeah.
bulging metal.
Yeah.
That's going to be 25 to hit.
25. It's like those old cartoons as kids that you would see their armor and stuff bending with them. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, and that is 9 fire damage.
9. Wow. All right, they're looking rough. I mean, you saw when that fire exploded in the center of them. You actually see about 10 of the fish, and they singe with burn marks on them, and the fire extinguishes. But then you see them float and fall. The last you see is them falling over the waterfall. Anything else on your turn?
No, because that'd be my movement. I don't really have a bonus that I want to do in this situation. So yes, that would be all for Drake.
Remington, you are up. Barry the blacksmith.
Okay, is there a branch or like a outcropping of stone, something that I can like just quickly lash this ring to?
Oh yeah, there's
Okay.
plenty of trees, and these trees, if you've ever seen like the Amazon River where it has the tree
Yeah.
roots that kind of curl out.
Should I make any kind of check for that?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I'll say
I
it'd be your
assume it'll
bonus
take
action.
my action to do it, but
I'll even allow it to be your bonus action to tie its reins.
okay.
Yeah.
Then I'll use my bonus action to tie the reins off, and then
Yeah.
Remy gets out of the water back onto the bank.
Okay.
Does he take any opportunity attacks or anything like that? Or...
You'll take 1, just straight, not advantage though.
Okay. Sorry. How many can I get a rough estimate of the number of fish around?
10.
10 still?
Yeah.
Okay, then instead of that, he's going to slam his hammer down into
Okay.
the water at them.
One-handed, not 2, since he's holding on, or
Uh,
to the actual
He's already
root.
tied it off, so he can.
Okay, but
overhand.
the flow of the river might pull him. Just heads up. Or are you on the bank? You're saying, and that's when you attack.
Well, no, it was while he was. I wasn't aware there was like a movement per round effect in the water. Nobody else has been doing it.
Well, because he's the only dwarf besides Barry, that's the only reason I haven't done
Fair
it
enough.
at that point.
So
you can either hop out of the water and take and then attack, but get an opportunity to attack, or you could stay in the water, attack, and then potentially get out depending on the type of damage without any opportunity attack.
Okay, I'll stay in the water to attack.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll for that now. Natural 20.
Ooh.
All right.
He's using what, a warhammer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not a maul.
No, it's a.
Okay, so that's a D10 then.
This
With
is
2
gonna be nasty.
hands.
I helped him out with his weapon because he was talking about it with me.
So that is going to be a 10 damage.
10.
Mm-hmm.
And that's doubled?
Yeah, I rolled a 4, doubled to 8,
Oh, right.
add 2
Okay.
for strength.
That's still amazing. Level 2.
Yeah.
They are really rough. Only about 2 fish, it looks like, are still living in that swarm around the
Well,
horse.
he only has the 1 attack, so now he's getting out of the water.
Okay. Then no opportunity attack on that since it was a natural 20.
Okay.
Enough fish got killed that were close enough to him that the other 2 were on the other side of the horse.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
How much movement do I have?
Half, so it would have been 10 feet to get out, so you have 20 feet, or is it 25 feet as a dwarf?
25 feet.
25 feet.
So you'd have 15 feet left.
Okay, how close Remington starts heading toward his horse?
Can I get Sebastian? Just so I can keep track of his horse. It was right here. You can get maybe 5 feet away from it.
Okay.
Like to where it's 10 feet, but 5 feet space
That
in
is
between.
action, bonus action, and movement. Remy's done.
Okay. Barry the blacksmith sees everyone getting out of the water, and then Drake running back into the water. And he's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this moment, but I'm getting the fuck out of this water. And he turns and moves out of the water. He uses half his feet, so 10 feet. So he's left with 15.
So he gets onto the shore.
Yep. And then you see him take his hammer, sees a fish, and he says, well, I'm not throwing this. And he grabs a hand axe, and you see him throw it at, or a throwing axe, at one of the fish in the water. He's rolling fire. That hits. It was a natural 13 plus 4.
Cool.
So,
Nice.
yeah, he hits, but it is only a throwing axe. There is a single solitary fish that you can see of that swarm. Though, passive perception, 11, 13. Yeah, you guys don't notice. So he's outside the water, he's moved, that's his turn. And it is Orin, you're up.
Okay.
And then baddies.
So Orin is astride his horse, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see the one fish.
And I can see Remy's getting close to his own mount. I am going to charge all the way across the river on horseback.
Which you can do. You have plenty of speed. So,
All right.
It'll take a dash to get the last 5 feet, but
So my horse will make a Constitution save. I looked up riding horses have 13 hit points.
nice. Yeah, this
Am
one kind of
I
just
in the
flew
water enough? Like just like my, I assume that like my from below my knees, I'm probably wet.
Give the Constitution saving throw at advantage since it's so small of your body.
Okay. The horse failed its.
Takes 4 poison damage.
Okay. Oh, and that's good. That's well, it's well over the DC. I know. It's a natural 16 plus.
So you
1.
take no damage then since it was at advantage. So, yep. You would have taken half if you had failed.
Got it.
So-
Got it.
Okay. So that's movement. Do you want any action?
And how much damage did you say the horse took?
4.
Horse. Okay.
4 poison damage. And
Uh,
as you get across the water, your steed, which is normally pristine, brushed. If you've ever seen like a show horse where their tails are tied in knots, and like that's how your horses appear. But you see a large gash where, or no, sorry, not a gash, but it looks like a festering wound began to appear on one of its sides, on its flank. So,
All right. I pat his mane comfortingly, and then I turn around. Can I see the fish in the? No, I'm gonna fire at. I'm going to fire at the path we are all taking through the water.
Okay.
I want to make that dangerous for the fish.
I'm not even going to make you roll for that because the fish is right here. All these are gone.
Alright, I charge across the water, wheel my horse around, and lift my staff up, and a bolt of fire flies from its end into the water and makes a big splash.
Yeah, you actually see part of the water do one of those like where the water splashes out. Very nice with an explosion too in it. And that's action movement. No bonus action.
Nah, I don't really have anything for this.
Okay.
So that's me.
The fish gets scared and swims towards the horse that's tied off and begins to comfort eat. Kevward, you are up. Drake on deck.
I'm going to tie off the rope.
I'll take an action.
Okay. And then I'm going to turn around and yell at Drake, "Grab the other rope!"
Alright, anything else?
That's it.
No bonus action?
No.
Drake, you are up. Remington on deck.
Okay. So I need a Constitution save, correct?
Correct. The horse is kind of like this now because its head is being dragged. And actually, at that point, you see its body tear away from the neck area where these fish have been attacking and eating at it, and it just the neck snaps away, and the body actually. Go ahead and break that mini. I'm just kidding. And the body floats over down the waterfall.
11 for my Constitution save.
Man,
First one was good.
5
Another
poison
5.
damage. It's the skull dice. They roll.
Dude,
amazing.
they roll really well.
Yeah. I don't think they're
I'm just
weighted.
gonna say that I really like my horse. Okay.
Oh,
So with my full movement of 15, where do I make it? About right there.
you're about here.
Yes.
You would get to the edge without doing anything else.
Okay, so yeah, my action, I'll finish dashing to come up and get.
Okay, so that'll give you about 10 more feet.
And it takes half of your movement to get a stride amount.
So you could get on top.
Yeah, I just want to.
So you
Get back
are, yep, to where I screwed that up bad. Okay. All right, you jump Legolas style into the saddle. Rapier still in hand, or did you sheath it?
We shoot it back because
Okay.
I threw a firebolt the last time, so
Gotcha.
I just have my hand out like I'm getting ready to.
Okay.
If I see anything.
And you turn your horse towards the water, and that's the end of your turn. Remington, you're up. Then bury the blacksmith.
Alright, Remy wants to use the rest of his movement, or as much as he needs to get astride his horse.
Half his movement.
Okay.
He was close enough. I'm not gonna...
Alright, so he's used half his movement. So I looked up the it's an actual horse though. It's not his bison.
Correct.
Okay, so if he used half his movement, then the horse, I think per the mounted combat rules, has half of its movement when he gets on. So it can move 30 feet.
Yep.
I'd like to go 30 feet out into the water.
So you'll get only about 10 feet across because you're about 5 feet from the shore, and then...
And Remy will use his action to dash and get the rest of the way across and out of the water.
You get just on the shoreline.
Cool. So that is his action and movement. He's good.
Okay. Barry the blacksmith looks across and says, "Oh shit, I left my horse." Oh, the rope. He begins to like climb across.
Very nice.
And that's it. That's his turn. He uses his movement to dash. He gets back across to where his horse is, which we don't have a mini, but whatever.
Well, you can use the corpse.
Oh, that's true, yeah. And that's his turn. Orin, you are up, and then the one solitary fish.
Orin's going to fire another bolt into the path we've been using. Keep it dangerous.
Very nice. Yeah, that same fish, you see it, like, look back and then chunk more on the neck. It's the most tender area. And that's your turn. The fish keeps eating, and Kevward, you're up. Drake on deck.
I'm gonna just hold my action until I see like any other movement.
Okay. Where are you looking? Just
I'm
looking all over?
Yeah, all over.
Okay, give a perception check then. Which would be your action.
Oh, well, that's 9.
9.
Actually, my bad. It's 8.
8. That is better.
No, 9 is better than 8.
You're so distracted by the blood that's spilling out of your body. Yeah. So that's everything. Drake, you're up. Remington on deck.
Okay, so Barry, our buddy Barry, he got on his mount, so I'll untie the rope and then dash across on my mighty steed.
Okay, so you get across if you use your dash.
Yes.
So go ahead and move your stuff. And Remington, you are up. You are across, right?
Remington holds his action to cast, or no, he sees what Orin's been doing. He casts Sacred Flame at the same path.
Okay.
So there's a flash of, in comparison to the red-orange of Firebolt, this is more of a yellow-white that
Nice.
erupts in the midst of the river.
All right. And then Barry the blacksmith says, I can't do that. He pulls out another throwing axe and just readies that.
Is he not going to try to cross?
Oh, yeah, he did climb across. Yeah, he uses his dash to climb across.
Yay!
Everybody's across.
Yeah.
Anything seem to be following us?
At the moment, no. Doesn't seem so. You are out of combat. Congratulations.
Woo, sweet. We did it, boys.
You survived the river.
I
and
and
actually-
survived the algae.
So you guys get across, and Barry begins to instantly unties his pack and begins to oil his hammer and check his armor and tries to dry it off and prepares to hopefully it doesn't rust.
I'll walk over to him and say, I may be able to spare you some effort, friend. And I'll cast Prestidigitation to dry him and all of his gear, and I'll do it for the rest of the
So
party in
it's
turn.
Back to the Future 2 style with the jacket, and you see him. Ooh, his hair actually does.
Yeah, I gather up all of the water and algae into sort of like a swirling ball of brown and green, and then I just like flick it off into the brush.
Make a Constitution saving throw for your horse when you dashed
yes.
across. I forgot.
I'm rolling 8s on that.
Their Constitution save is +1.
So you take 2. Your horse takes 2 poison damage, and as does Barry the blacksmith. You are down a steed, so you'll have to figure that out. But let's decide that over break. So we'll be back in about a little short while.
We're probably gonna have to compensate this guy for his horse too.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna pick up where we left off. You guys are standing on the shoreline. Wounds on some of you. You see Barry just kind of after Orin offers and cleans him magically. You see him look at his hammer, eyes it, puts it back, and ties it back to his belt, and then. Well, looks like we're in a bit of a tussle. We only have 4 horses now.
Well, some of us are light and others are diminutive. Surely we can find some way to double up if it will speed our way.
Yes, I mean we're not riding them right now, but there may come a time where you're going to need to. So, bring me back something good from the Federation, and once we part ways, I'll let you take my horse and just bring me back something nice.
We shall.
Let's see what we can do.
So if you'd like, we still have a day and a half before we get to that spot where it's safe to rest. Is everybody okay to move forward?
I mean,
Yeah, I'll be fine.
we could definitely take a breather. I know.
Breather might be nice, but I'm pretty good for right now.
All right.
I just worry about if we get into some other kind of tussle. You know. I mean, hell, you're our big beefy boy. I mean, I can do some, but I'd hate for one of us to go down. And I mean, do we want to take a little short break? Barry, do you think that'd be good for where we're currently at. We won't run into too much.
I think it might be wise for us to at least get a little ways away from the river.
Yes, it may be best to continue on while we have the daylight, unless anyone is on the verge of collapsing now.
I know you're magic practitioners. Are you two able to maybe like help him out a little, or?
I'll walk up to Remy and say, "You got anything for me, buddy?"
How bad do you look?
I'm at.
He's a 5, I'm a 7.
Yeah.
He starts to talk, but then he goes, but then he just puts his hand on you and casts Cure Wounds.
Very nice.
I'll roll. That's Cure Wounds is a D8 plus your Wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Is it 1D8 or 2 at level 1?
I think it's 1d8.
Sounds about right. Alright, his Wisdom. You get 4 hit points back, buddy.
4 is better than none.
That could be the difference of life and death.
Well, and when
At
you're
level 2.
raging...
I also still have Stone's Endurance.
The hard thing for him is he wasn't raging when he took that blunt of damage.
That
So
first attack just
Yeah.
killed me.
Just keep your rage up. He's got more spell slots.
killer piranhas. That's what they do.
I don't want to burn them all at like 10 a.m. You know.
Yeah. And so after Remington walks up, casts a bit of holy energy, the wounds, some of them close up, other ones stop bleeding at least.
Yeah.
And Barry says, "All right, well, let's at least put an hour between us and the river, and then we can take a small rest before we finish the rest of the day, if that works for you." All right.
It's agreeable to me.
And he begins to continue on, kind of pushes some of the ivy and vines hanging from the trees out of his way, and moves forward. What is the marching order, by the way? I should have asked that.
I'll keep up the front.
No, I'll go behind him.
So it's Barry, Kevward, Orin,
Yeah.
Drake. Where's Remington?
Remington will take up the rear.
Okay.
And he'll keep an eye over his shoulder, like trying to watch behind us too. As we go, I want to have Mage Hand up, and just if there's things that have to be moved by hand or anything, I'll be using that some and make sure we don't touch stuff.
Gotcha. Poisonous frogs.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Exactly. Like let the magic hand do it. Like,
Very nice. That is going to help. Drake, can you roll a d20 for me?
A D20.
Or sorry, a d100.
Oh, percentile?
Yep, percentile.
Then that's what? D10.
That and a
right?
10, yep.
That's just... 56.
56. Good.
Oh,
All right.
rubs his hands. I don't know about that.
Go ahead and roll this d6 for me. If it lands on a question mark, it's going to be fun.
3.
So about 3 hours go by, and then Barry stops and he says, "All right, this looks like a safe spot. Let's go ahead and take a quick rest." He gets something out of the side of his saddle, and he takes a big swig. It looks like it's ale. And then he just goes about tending to his horse.
Okay. Are we taking a short rest here?
Well, that's up to you guys. You guys had said you wanted to take a little rest.
I mean, TBH, I wouldn't have burned one of Remy's spell slots if we were taking a short rest right after.
I'm
So
not saying you'll get through a short rest.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm missing 11 off, but...
If you fellas are good to move forward, we can. It's just you had said you wanted to take a little breather. We have probably about, it's hard to tell, but maybe 4 or 5 hours of daylight still.
That's not very much. Perhaps we should not burn one here.
Yeah. I say we can keep going.
Yeah.
Well,
So say I as well.
I'll risk. I'll be okay.
Before I forget, actually,
I
he
have a few
pulls out
tricks.
of his saddle. It looks like 4 finely. You can tell the paper is similar to what you needed for your spells. Fine crafted paper, and it looks to be written in all ink, black ink. But then there's a signature in emerald ink and he hands them over, one to each of you, and says, "Here are your certifications of ownership." And with that, you can present that. From what I understand, if you present that to any of the guardsmen or soldiers of the Federation, it should keep you out of harm's way, being owned by one of the people.
And I'm sorry, to whom do these papers say that we belong?
It's a wealthy guy that, let's just say he's a friend of my brother and mine. His name is Simeon Pollard.
Simeon.
Pollard. Pollard. You'll find him if you need to give information on where he lives. He lives in the Fingerlands, just on the northern district of the city, on the western side.
And in the event that we should perhaps be taken captive and brought to this man, can we count on him to be a part of our ruse, or will we be in trouble at that point?
Tell him the twin brothers send you, and you'll be safe.
Twin brothers. Very well. And is it common for slaves to go about without their masters as long as they have these papers?
Slaves is not what they call them there. Although they are. You are right.
Well, what is the local parlance?
The class that you'll be categorized are anyone beneath human is called ser.
Ser.
Ser. And what they'll do is, it is common to send servants, is what they call them. But they're slaves, to be honest. They send them on task every now and then. Seeing 4 ones such as yourselves is very uncommon. Marching together, unless you're in ownership. And luckily, he's a wealthy man that, if they know him, they'll know that he can afford you.
Quite well, thank you.
You're welcome. And these, you don't want to get wet, because they're not going to hold up to, too much water. That's why I tied them safely in the saddlebags there.
And we thank you for it. Shall we continue?
Absolutely.
Yes, my friend.
Should we get a description of Simeon? Because, both my brother and I now can, at least appear as him if the need may arise.
What
I don't know if that would help with furthering our ruse.
Now, with the description, will you be able to look like him, or is it just to pass off to guardsmen?
I believe we may have to actually see him, but
yeah, he's a human, roughly in his 40s, about my age actually. We had what you'd call an adventure together, him and my brother and I, back when we were young. He actually comes from Honeyhollow originally, made wealth in wine trading or something, out of Care or Gaul, I forget. But yeah, he's become a wealthy tradesman, and he used to, I haven't seen him in a few years, he very black ebony hair, bit of a beard and scruff about his face. He does have a slight scar on his right eyebrow. I don't remember if his eyes were green or blue. I think they were blue. Maybe they're green. I don't recall, but
that should be enough for
is that
anyone
enough
who
for
hasn't
you
actually
think?
seen him, and
Okay.
perhaps we may get a glimpse of him ourselves.
If they really know him, he always flaunts a handkerchief in his pocket, so tied neatly into a point. So if they know him, I just want to give you as many details as possible. You've done good by me, and I want something nice back.
Wait till we pay you back for your horse before you thank us, friend.
I trust you. And it wasn't your fault. It was them fish. But
That's very decent of you.
has everybody caught their breath? Good to go?
Indeed.
Let's go, my friend.
All right. He grabs an apple, takes a big crunch just out of it, and let's go. And he begins to drag the horse, not literally drag, but pull the horse behind him. And you guys move forward, similar style the rest of the day. And then it gets dark, and it changes because the darkness, something about it when you're in the jungle, is the canopy blocks a lot of the moonlight, but also a bit of rain begins to fall. And the ground had been soft already from, you've been walking on a lot of moss and plant life, but it begins to get mushy. And it's just like a slight drizzle. But you notice your feet begin to kind of sink into a bit of the ground at each step, and it's a bit of a each step. And your horses, you can tell, are laboring a little bit more. I mean, it's not anything terrible. It's just definitely slows you down a little bit. Orin, roll a D percentile. Unless you guys are going to attempt to try and stop somewhere random.
So we're about to try to stay up all night.
Until you get to a safe house, you can stop. But that's what Barry was under the impression is he was going to take you.
I'll take his advice. That's good enough. That is an 85.
85. The higher, the better. Do you light any? How do you see? You guys have dark vision. Dwarves have dark vision. Do Goliaths?
I'm pretty sure I have dark vision.
You all?
No, I don't think Goliaths do.
Personality traits should say it.
Should be in the thing underneath your saving throw box, where it has your passives.
Yeah, it didn't say that, so...
Okay.
So all of you are good except for Kevward, who's at the front with Barry the blacksmith. And what would you like to do to try and assist in that? I'll give you at least a chance to...
Remington walks up to the front where Kevward is when he sees him struggling to make his way, and he goes to talk, but he just when he just like gestures for Kevward to fall back into the group, and Remington takes point.
Okay, with so the two dwarves at the front now.
Yeah.
And Kevward, in front of Drake? So Drake can kind of like keep him from falling behind, or is that how you want to do it?
Yes, that'll work.
Okay. Okay. So that's the marching order. And you notice Barry slows down a little bit. He decides to be a little more stealthy about it in the evening because it still sounds like the jungle during the day, but it's even more awake. And you begin to hear sounds of all the creaking trees, and you begin to hear every now and then in the far distance.
I imagine it's going to be a problem for us that he can't see his feet.
Potentially.
Can we put him on one of our horses, and we'll just guide the horse?
Yep. You
Yes,
can.
because we're going to have to be intensively guiding the horses too. They don't have dark vision.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
So I imagine we're moving pretty slow at this point.
Half speed, basically. That's partially why, I mean, so Honeyhollow was roughly about 85 to 90 miles outside of the Fingerlands. That's why it's going to take 3 solid days of travel.
Yeah.
The last day is going to be on horseback, so it's going to be no issue
Right.
from what you understand. This is going to be the hardest bit of travel. So yeah, it is possible. I mean, there's going to be points where he gets probably like whipped by a little bit of plant life or something, but should be good. So which horse is he riding? Which order?
What's the strongest horse?
Yeah.
Actually, one of yours would be stronger.
He can use mine.
Okay.
Because we're all walking. Like you're on foot as well. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. So you guys continue throughout the evening, and the rain continues, just like it's like a misting. And you can't tell, is this rainfall or is just the humidity increasing? Because, I mean, it is sticky. Your clothes, every aspect of you, it's Georgia in the summertime. Like, you get out of the shower, you're wet, so.
I'm like constantly prestidigitation, getting sweat off of myself.
Okay. And you guys continue moving forward. At points, you see Barry stop and do one of these numbers. Looks up at the trees.
When he does that, Remington gives him guidance.
Okay. He rolled a 4 natural and then a 3 on the guidance, so that's 7.
No.
And then you see, and he continues on. Go ahead and roll the percentile. This will determine.
I rolled 2 d10s.
2 tens is 100.
No, I rolled 2 d10s.
Oh.
That's fine.
I mean, you
That's
could still
fine.
call
It's
that a
the same.
percentile.
Okay,
So
yeah,
that's
I rolled
100.
a 9.
The higher
and a
the
9.
better.
I rolled a 9 and a 9.
Can I have that? Do you mind giving him that D6, or did you give it back to
I
me?
gave it back.
Go ahead and roll that for me.
You can get
Twice.
a question mark.
Because you rolled 100. Did you get a question mark?
I did.
You just did?
Yeah, I just did. My first roll was a question mark.
Okay. So, nearly to morning. You guys are moving and you're all tired. Make sure you mark off exhaustion. You have
so
2
I'm at
now.
2 points.
Yep.
Disadvantage
Barry's
on
at,
ability checks, half speed.
Barry's at 2 as well. Remember, he stayed up to make all those
So he's
certain.
also at half speed.
Conditions.
So make sure you keep track of those. The morning light begins to just barely make it to where you can see, and you're not as much difficulty anymore. It's just dim light. But then you hear in the tree, about 40 feet behind you, above.
Have 8 hours passed since I cast mage armor?
Yes, because
I'm
that
gonna do it
was
again.
at like 10 a or 11 a.m. the other day. Okay, so you cast mage armor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how would you like to respond when you all hear it? Your passives are enough to where you heard it. It's a little ways off, but
Is there any kind of clearing or anything around, or
not where you're located. No, it's still really thick jungle terrain. You've crossed some other small like streams, or it's like a creek, where it's like just a small bit of water, maybe like a foot wide, that's like 2 inches deep, but it's consistent. You've crossed a few of those. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, this is dense jungle.
Okay. Well, Orin turns to Drake and says, "Did you hear that?
I did.
Did the rest of you?
Yeah, my friend.
Barry, have you any idea what that may be?"
I think it'd be wise if we go back to back and go ahead and light some fire.
A fire.
We need some fire now. And
How-
you see him starting to spark to try and light his, and you see it damp.
What's he trying to light?
He's trying to light a torch.
All right. Can I dry it with prestidigitation?
Yeah. You can use. Is it an action for prestidigitation?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
it'd be your action.
Yeah. So
We're
I'll-
not in combat, but
All right.
yeah.
So I'll use prestidigitation first to dry it, and then to light it.
Okay.
Is there anything I can set ablaze with a firebolt?
Everything's pretty damp. You can attempt to though. I mean, you have a torch, at least one on you.
Okay.
You can attempt to light that. If it was stuck into your bag, potentially it's easier. It's just been very, very humid and very wet.
And I'll just, if we're lighting fires, I'll cast light and have that shining from the head of my staff.
Okay. So your white staff appears and
Wait, you know what? I'm lying. I don't have that cantrip. What am I talking about? Does Remy?
Remy's in might.
He might.
No, guidance, sacred flame, and toll the dead. We've got mundane fire for light then. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So the one torch lights up, and Barry instantly like holds it up, and you can see the reflection of 2, 3, 4 of eyes in the distance looking at you. You can make a nature check to see if you recognize the shape and the style of eye and the size.
Ooh, that's nice. That's
ability checks.
And for Remington as well.
It's gonna be
Make sure these are
disadvantage.
disadvantaged, yeah.
Edward, do you have a torch? I can light
I
yours.
rolled an 18 and a 19
Since you don't
at
have dark vision.
disadvantage.
Man,
I don't know what it is.
yeah. Of
So
course,
my nature
barbarian.
check is a total of 22.
That's 4 now for you.
I rolled a 2 and a 4.
22 at disadvantage, a 2 and a 4. Yeah, you definitely don't know.
A 10 for Drake.
Yeah, I
Would
Put it on my
Remington roll?
Oh, I didn't roll for him.
Disadvantage as well, but
Let's see. Natural 10 plus 0. 10.
So you, Orin, as you can feel the of the heartbeat beginning, your mind goes to the library of Zelai, and you think of all the books you've read, and creatures. And you recognize the eyes, and you see, oh, the shape of them. These look like panther's eyes.
Friends, we are beset by panthers. Why are they hunting in a pack?
That's a good question. Maybe something's guiding them, or some bigger creature commanding them.
I have an idea. Everyone hold still. About 30 feet, like off in like any direction that's away from us, and not like on the other side of us from the panthers. I want to use minor illusion to create the sound of like a what kind of animal lives in the jungle? What do tigers and panthers eat?
Gazelle?
They don't live in the jungle, do they?
Monkeys, they'll eat lemurs, right?
Lemurs.
They'll
Okay,
eat...
yeah. I make the sound of like a wounded ape in the jungle.
I don't know what apes sound like. Okay. So
just off away from us.
30 feet, you said?
That's the max range of minor illusion.
So 30 feet. So if the panthers are surrounding you here, you guys are in the center, which direction would you make that sound?
Panthers are there, and we're over there.
They're about 40-ish feet this way.
I would do it like as close to like Jason as I could from our
Okay,
position.
so kind of like here. So away from them, diagonally, as best you can.
Yeah.
Okay. And instantly, you see all the eyes shift, and you hear... At disadvantage because you did that.
And my spell save DC again is 14.
A natural 1. And you hear, and just barely can see in the dim light, the sheen off their black coats jumping and clawing through the trees. And they're climbing a little bit different than like large cats do. They're climbing almost like a mixture of a cat and an ape in a way. Like they're almost like grabbing and pulling themselves as they climb instead of like climbing down and running.
So they're like within 60 feet. We can see them with our dark.
Oh yeah, they're only about 40 feet from you guys.
All right.
They're 40 feet here. You guys were here. You did 30 feet. They're moving towards that sound.
That won't buy us much time. We should move.
Let's go. And you see Barry holds out the torch in front of him, pulls his hammer out, and then grabs the reins and begins to move forward as quickly as he can, even though he's exhausted with 2 points. So, and he's dashing, like he's running as hard as he can.
Yeah.
He's tired. You can see sweat, and you can see, there's dirt marks across his face. And he's moving. Are you guys moving as fast as you can
just
as well?
whatever Barry does as our guide,
Okay.
I'm doing. Like
Matching.
Okay.
I have my spear and the torch in my hand.
After you get about 30, 40 feet from where you were, you hear a...
while we're running, can Remy catch up to him and lay a cure wounds on him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Remington has only 1 point of exhaustion.
So you're gonna get 9 hit points back from that one.
Okay.
That's very helpful.
So
Good
you guys
people,
hear
but you
that,
gotta
and
get
then you
props.
hear
Yeah, I
also
know.
a bunch of them, and you hear the sounds of them climbing through the trees, trying to move towards you. Excuse me. And you guys are continuing to just keep booking?
Yeah. How far are we from? So when I cast minor illusion, I believe the effect lasts a minute, unless I stop it.
And you said it was just a sound, though, right?
Just a sound. So I can't create an odor. I can't create an image at the same time.
Yep.
So
So that's where you imagine they were searching for a little bit and couldn't find anything, didn't catch a scent.
all right. So I'm gonna cast minor illusion again as we run,
Okay.
and like I assume, have we run past them at this point?
Well, they were behind you. So-
Right. Okay. So between us and the
Okay.
Panthers, I'm going to cast Minor Illusion again, and this
Okay.
time I want to make it sound like an angry group of apes.
Okay.
Just like shrieking like...
Okay.
But I wanted to sound like about a dozen of them, like enough to give a predator pause.
Okay.
Again, spell save 14.
Another natural 1. Disadvantage.
That's the downfall of beasts, man. They can't make intelligence checks.
Okay. You hear them stop. And all you can hear is the sound of apes as you guys continue.
Yes.
Wow. Very nice. You guys get, after about a minute, you feel like you probably have a good 150 feet from where that sound was coming from. So probably 150 to 180 feet between you and the Panthers. And I imagine you're following Barry. He's just going. He's not even really looking back.
I'm not slowing down any more
Okay.
than I absolutely have to make the motion and cast the spell.
Okay. So at that point, Barry, he continues on, and you guys had slowed down in the night to move slowly, and now that the light's coming up and now that you have Panthers on your trail, and a pack at that, he's booking it as fast as he can with exhaustion. And the light has gotten brighter and brighter, and as you're running, you don't even notice there's full brightness out. The trees have begun to thin out a little bit, and you're moving, and you're running, and you think you don't hear the Panthers anymore. You don't hear the apes anymore. You don't even realize you've been running for 10, 15? It's been 20 minutes. And you guys stop, and Barry says, I think we should probably get a drink of water and try and be a little more quiet now. I think we might be safe. I think we lost them. Oh, I've never seen a pack of Panthers like that.
No, I've never heard of such a thing. I thought they were solitary animals.
They are.
What would drive them to hunt together?
It's curious.
Know you of any supernatural forces that are said to lurk in these woods?
I mean, there's myths about all forests and jungles, and
Myths are often worth paying close attention to, friend. Can you recall any?
there's a legend. From when I was a kid, I recall Honeyhollow was said you don't go into the jungle because there was a spirit to the jungle that changed things. I never put any credit to it.
Please, you need make no apologies, but in my studies I find that often these things, be they pale facsimiles of the reality, they may reference it nonetheless. Our world contains malevolent spirits, and things that can control the wills of animals and turn them on mortal throats.
It's just, the legend just states that the spirit, it gives courage to beasts to do things they normally don't. That's why we were told as kids. I mean, I always just put it up to, to keep us safe, to not go in to get hurt, but I'm telling you, and you can see his hand is visibly shaking a little bit as he grips. I mean, he's white knuckling his hammer. And you see him then grab his arm to steady it and tuck it back into his belt.
I have an idea. Kevwood,
Yes.
have you kept your eyes open for small game on our trail? Might you be able to catch something like a rabbit or squirrel or whatever they have in this place?
I can most certainly try, my friend.
If you can do that, we may be able to cut it open so that it's bleeding. My familiar could take it and leave a false
Smart.
trail in another direction so that the panthers don't follow us.
Well, let me go check really quick.
You can do a disadvantage.
We can use rations if we have to,
Survival.
but fresh blood will likely do best.
Okay.
You could always cut yourself.
Well, then they find us.
Yeah.
What do you want to do first?
Disadvantage survival.
Survival?
And remember what we talked about with how the survival checks will go.
13.
Please don't tell me. That's a 7. Oh. This one wasn't bad. 2 plus 1, 3.
3. You do find a few bugs.
Mm.
You know, like the longer, bigger ones in the jungle.
Well, you've done what you can. I think speed is important here. I'll take my servings of rations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna break it up so that it's like crumbled into like pieces that
Okay.
can be left a bit at a time,
Okay.
and entrust that to my familiar.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He's like clutching these like bits of jerky and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm going to send him as we continue walking
Okay.
on a path that's gradually getting further and further, like off to our left,
Okay.
until he gets to like my maximum range.
What is yours? A mile or?
I
Or
believe,
that's a warlock, right?
well, I believe a warlock can see through their senses up to a mile,
Oh,
but
gotcha.
I can only see through their senses up to 100 feet.
Gotcha.
I think they can still go the mile. I'll check.
Okay. So you do that, and you guys begin moving, and you're moving a little bit slower this time, not dashing. So you guys are only moving about 15 feet every round. And you're moving. You all can make perception checks if you'd like to see if you hear anything coming behind you.
Golly.
Make sure they're disadvantaged.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was at disadvantage. I rolled good on the first one. I rolled a 9.
9,
5 for Drake.
5.
I
Okay.
apologize, I was reading fine.
Perception.
Perception?
Disadvantage, of course.
Mhm.
Just
It doesn't say anything about like a maximum range for my familiar to exist.
Yeah.
So I will instruct it to go about half a mile,
Okay.
and then snap back to me magically.
Okay.
My disadvantaged perception check is 10.
10. Do you sense when your familiar dies? Or is it just you have to see? I imagine you would sense it. I mean, you have a connection with it.
Yeah, I mean, you invest a part of your soul into your familiar to make it.
So your familiar is carrying these rations crumbled up. Make sure you take off your 1-day ration. And after it gets about a quarter of a mile roughly, you feel it snap out.
My familiar has been destroyed. I don't know about how far from here. It was outside of my empathic range.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, we still have at least 18 hours of travel before we get... I mean, we may be able to do it in 16, but that's going to be crossing the... I wouldn't even recommend... I'm going to tell you that, but I don't recommend going through this area. It saves a couple hours, but it's a abandoned cemetery of sorts.
Well,
That at least would give us a bit of shelter. Something
Yes.
we could put our backs to so we can see.
I mean, there is a standing structure still, and I mean, a lot of the gravestones have been taken over by plant life, but I don't know if it has a door anymore, but I mean, its roof still last time I went by it, which was a few years ago, it was still intact. It's stone in fine craftsmanship, actually.
you seem to have some trepidation about this place, though.
Remember I told you my brother had a scar along his jaw? That's where he got it.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that it is a more dangerous place than here with panthers at our back?
Probably equal. So it couldn't hurt.
No, if they're equal, we might as well go the fastest course.
I agree.
Me and Remy are with you guys.
Alright. So you want to head there and rest up? Like barricade ourselves in and rest up? Is that what you're saying you want to do?
I don't think we'll make it much further without at least a short breather, and that sounds like the closest safe place.
Okay.
As the kind of safety we have now.
It's going to take us another probably hour to get that spot. I'm going to have to change our course a little bit, but...
Very well.
And you guys are walking and talking, obviously, when all this is occurring. And you see him kind of turn a little bit more north. You guys have been going northeast, and he turns north, and after about 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes, you notice a change that it's progressively getting a little bit thinner and thinner in the jungle. It's not as densely, it's not as crowded feeling to you. You know, there are areas where you, Kevward, have to really basically like squeeze through and push and break, you know, cut vines away. It's just, you have so many small little scratches and tears at your clothing and your skin. It's a little, probably close to 3 or 4 in the afternoon when you see in the distance. I'll go ahead and describe what you see.
Oh, yeah.
What am I at?
I'm at 5 in there.
Man, better get some weighted dice so you can get a good roll now and then.
At this point, I think I rolled too well on my.
One of you grab that corner. Yeah. Let's gently. There we go. Okay. So you see, you guys, your tokens, you're all coming from this direction. So that's the south. The other thing you notice, animals sounds stop. The
This
jungle,
is worse somehow than the jungle.
and all you can hear is.
Well,
Your
I mean, at
heartbeat.
least the silence won't carry as much. We can see. I don't know.
Barry, all right. You see that building? If we're going to be staying in there, we move as quickly as we can after I start. When I say, you run. In there, you take your horses, your steeds, get inside, and you start barricading as best you can. Is that understood?
Yes. You coming with us?
I am. All right. Everybody? Now! And he turns and dashes for the door.
Alright.
I imagine everyone is.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you guys begin to dash, you guys see, may I get some skeletons and zombies? You guys are dashing. You see beginning to stand up. And the creaking of their bones, and some of them actually dirt on top of them that they've just been laying there, plant life that. And they're beginning to rush towards you. And you guys get inside and see some broken pews, and the door, one of them still is on the hinges. One of the other ones is laying on the ground, decayed, rotted. But you guys get inside. And then you hear, how would you have roughly, from what you saw, maybe 15 seconds to barricade the door.
All right, you said there were broken pews.
Mm-hmm.
Are they small enough for Remington to move?
Make a strength check.
I wanna
disadvantage.
also.
Yeah.
I wanna also
Strength check.
try to get in there.
It was a 9 and a 20 on the dice. So that is, what's Remington's strength? So it's 11.
11.
Mhm.
That is a 17. Yeah, 17 for me.
17. Okay. All right. Oh, forgot you. All right. So you guys, between the two of you, get 2 of the pews slammed up against, and the others are grabbing pieces of rubble, of broken stone that are hewn stone pieces, but some of them have just been, broken off. You see part of the corner of this wall here has collapsed in. Most of the roof's still intact, but they're grabbing stone and stacking it up against the pews that you did. You can attempt one more strength check to get any of the other pews if you'd like on your second round.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nah, 4.
4.
That's a 7.
So you guys go to grab one more, and it just snaps in half, or it falls apart from decay. Man, you're building up an inventory.
Yeah.
But the pews that you have are blocking majority of it. I mean, you can see as they bang up against and they're trying to cut and bang their fist through the wood, and you hear it creaking and creaking like an old wooden ship almost. The sound of that in the ocean, the wood just kind of absorbing it, and they don't stop. They just continue to hack. And
So what's the physical situation at the door now? Is there like a kind of a mound of like barricaded structures like a person could, and then how tall is there like an opening we can see out at the top of the door?
yeah, so it's roughly a 10-foot door, about 7 to 8 feet wide. So each door is 3 to 4 feet. One of them is closed. The other half, so about 3 feet, you have 2 pews that are roughly a foot and a half wide that you have stacked up, and a bunch of stone, as much as you could at that point. And you guys are all stacking it now at this point.
Right.
It's blocked. It should hold.
Can I see outside and see?
You would have to kind of climb up on the rubble.
Okay. What do I see right outside in, say, like a cone?
You see roughly 40, 50 skeletons, zombies, mixtures.
All right. Orin climbs to the top of this ramp, emerges like the top half of his body with his staff held aloft. Let me make sure I have it prepared.
This is Orin?
This is Orin.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, you have a cleric.
And then a cone of fire erupts from his staff as he casts... well, no, it's Burning Hands. So
yeah,
he reaches one hand out and on a line with his pinky and thumb. Yeah, so Burning Hands is a 15-foot cone, and everything in that area has to make a dex save. Though, if it's a huge amount, the DM may make some other kind of ruling. It's 3d6 fire damage.
Let me double check something.
Is there enough room for me to go up there and just stand next to him?
Yeah, I mean, you could keep trying to stack stuff if you wanted, or you can go up there. It's up to you. Okay, roll damage.
So that is, for anything that fails a save, 13 fire damage.
13.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And it's a 15-foot cone.
Yeah, so like 15 feet out, and I'd imagine...
Yeah.
Depends on how generous
The
you
metal
want to be at the end.
are zombies. The plastic are skeletons, because I'm not going to roll 50.
Right.
Okay, so... it looks like all of the skeletons, probably like 2/3 of them in that area, completely and just collapse. The rest are just on fire of their bits of clothing, or because they take half damage if they pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're on fire, and you can see them burning, but they're still like walking and coming towards the door and taking the place of the ones that have fallen. The zombies, it looks like only 1 or 2 of them had collapsed, but they stay down. So
Okay.
And you hear just...
No, I don't want to presume on taking turn after turn. Like,
No.
If we're like...
so you did that. What were you, Remington, and Kev, were you just going to stand up there?
So, I was just, if I was able to, I want to, like, any one of them gets close, I want to spear them.
Is it 10-foot reach with your spear?
It's a 5-foot reach. So, if I throw it, it's 20, but if I... it's also 5 feet.
You can attempt it.
Yeah, it says range. Either reach is 5 feet. Range
Well, no,
is
you're
20
a
feet.
Goliath, so you're larger. You could probably hit a couple of them at the door.
Yeah, I want to just keep clearing the door.
Okay, you can roll one attack.
Okay.
As long as there is anything to like bolster the barricade, Remington continues to work on that.
Okay, so Remington is reinforcing the barricade. Drake, what are you doing? I'm coming.
I want to go up to the same. After watching Orin do that,
Mhm.
I take take the lead, go up also, poke myself out far enough to where I reach my hand up, and I whisper a few words. And I say, "Elding," and you see just this lightning and thunderous little wave come into my hands, and I thrust it down and cast Thunder Wave. So that's going to
Okay.
be a 15-foot cone originating from me.
Okay.
Or excuse me, a
And you're
cube.
right beside your brother?
Yes. So I position it to where it's out right in front of us. So they need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Double 19 for the zombies.
Fuck.
The zombies, or the skeletons, rolled a 12.
Okay, so the ones that fail, they will take 11. They will take 11 thunder damage and will be pushed 10 feet away from us.
How far?
10 feet away.
10 feet. Okay.
The ones that made the save, they just take the half damage.
And how much damage was it?
11.
11. A good bit more of the zombies collapse, and I mean you can see a couple bodies, like quite a bit of bodies out there. There's still roughly 20 or 30 that you can see in your field, and you hear more on the sides of the building, and some of them look a little fresher than others. Some look really old and decayed, and others look only a couple years or a few years. So,
What could be reanimating all this at once? Surely it's not a single entity.
do you guys want to just get quiet and try and see if they'll go away?
I rolled a 24, by the way.
24?
Yeah.
Yeah, you take out one or two more zombies.
Okay.
In that time, like in that round.
Yeah.
Or roll damage. Sorry, I should have let you roll damage.
It's 1d6 plus 3.
Because you could hit terribly.
6, 7, 8. 8 damage.
Yeah. So you stab through one of the really rotted zombies and actually impale a second one behind it and pull the spear back, and they get pulled up into the barricade that you set, and they just slide off like a skewer, like shrimp on a skewer, and you see him collapse. My brother and I only survived, I think, because we stayed quiet. Granted, there's more of you, and we were just kids at the time.
Well, that will at least bottleneck them.
Indeed. I'll use, if there are any zombies that are look like they're hovering on 1 hit point and they're regenerating, I'll pop them with fire bolts to keep them down.
Okay.
But once we don't have any that are partially damaged and still alive, I'll...
Yeah, and at the point where you hit the last one, that it looks like there's probably about 8 to 10, 8 zombies and about 12 skeletons that are collapsed. You see now roughly, and you can peek your head out and see a bit off kind of like this, but not past the sides, but you can see it just filling. Like they're pushing up against each other at the sides trying to get to the doorway.
I hope that we've done enough.
I mean, there is a mound, so it helps barricade it some more. I think, really, I mean, it's going to be dark in the next couple hours. We could just stay quiet, don't light a fire, just try and wait it out. I'm just your guide. I'll try and do what I can, but...
We could also take rests.
I've no more tools in my kit for dealing with this situation at the moment.
I say we try to stay quiet, and some of us try to get some sleep in. Rotate on shifts.
Sounds
Very
good.
well.
Let's,
I don't mind taking first watch for you guys.
thank you. I haven't slept in over 2 days, so...
To be clear, do you mean to spend the night here, or...
That's what I was thinking. I'm I'm
I
rather
think
tired.
right now that's
As
the
am I.
safest option.
I mean, between the Panthers, the river,
Yeah,
and now,
very well. So you'll take the first watch, Kevoy.
Yes, sir.
Is you and Remington?
Yeah, me and Remington will take it.
all right. So you guys take shelter. Remington had been working to barricade. I mean, there's I would say 2 to 3 feet worth of kind of collapsed rubble barricading up against the pew. A few more of the pews, even like half of them, to where they had been decayed in the center. He was able to kind of stack to reinforce the 2 that you had up there. I mean, it's a makeshift barricade, but it should hold. So you all sit down, lean up against the walls, and you can hear kind of scratching at the walls and the doors. And you begin to start going to sleep. What do you do?
I'm going to kind of sit near the barricade,
Okay.
like to the point where I'm kind of able to see out, but not to the point where like I want to be able to still like hide, but kind of see out, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And keep an eye out.
Sure, this might help. This is what you hear the whole night.
Okay.
You guys fall asleep to this.
You want me to make any checks?
Yes. Do a Constitution because it's reminding you of what that coin did to you.
Is that that's disadvantage or no?
My portent is still up. I haven't used it for the day, so that roll's going to be a 19 plus whatever his modifier is.
You jerk!
19 plus 5. That's
So
24.
Nice. Okay. So you're safe on Constitution. What were you attempting to do? Just keep an eye out?
Keep an eye out, but I don't want to be seen by the any
Okay.
of the...
Do a perception check. Don't even worry about stealth because you have so much in front of you.
6.
6? It's okay. I mean,
Wait,
you
stealth?
don't even have dark vision.
No, I don't.
So that's why you rolled so badly. You look out and you can just barely. There are no trees
Okay.
surrounding. So
5.
5.
Even better.
Yeah. The moons, you can see some of it peering through the cloud cover, and it illuminates, and you can just see the field surrounding is full of you. You just see the silhouettes of bodies standing, some of them just swaying.
Also, I have my great axe in my hand just in case.
Okay. After 2-3 hours, who was taking second watch?
Remington can.
Remington?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So your superior officer.
I give him word of, hey, wake him up.
And he gets up, and you see him kind of stretch and roll his shoulders, check his armor, make sure it's good. Grabs his is it a great hammer or a great axe?
It's a
Warhammer.
Warhammer. And he goes and takes your point atop the door, and you see him place one hand on the basically roof line and looks out the about 1-2 feet area that you guys can see out of. And you see, I mean, he's a cleric, so undead.
Mhm.
It's his mortal enemy, basically. So, is there anything you'd like Remington to do in his watch?
Yeah, he's just going to keep his eyes peeled on... you said that the roof was open as well, right?
There's a chunk of it on the back corner. So this corner here, there's probably like a 3 or 4 foot
Yeah,
opening.
he's making sure to watch that
Okay.
as well.
Do a perception check.
I'm not going to roll. It's going to be a natural 12 for a total of 15.
Important. Awesome. Okay, so he sees that there aren't he can hear. It's not more see. He can hear that the scratch marks are a little bit higher on the wall, probably a couple feet above where the other ones are. Like almost like they're trying to climb up the side of that spot. And then when he looks out over the field, did you want him to use any abilities or anything for undead, or was he okay?
I mean,
Does he have
not just
anything
yet.
Okay. No. I just meant for like sensing. I didn't know if he wanted to try and sense.
I don't know if... I think that's a paladin thing. He has
I thought
channel
clerics had-
divinity turned undead.
Oh, turn undead. Okay, yeah.
Um,
I knew it was an undead
Yeah,
feature.
Paladin
Yeah.
has the search for...
Yeah,
Okay.
paladins get detect evil and good, or like sense
That's
evil.
what it is. Okay.
Or, I think, Vax had like something of detect, like
Gotcha.
was able to see where the location of all
So-
the undead were.
You guys, or Remington, spends the next 3 hours just disgusted. A pit of disgust in his stomach as he's looking out over hundreds of corpses and skeletons. And then his shift comes to an end. Who was taking the third watch? I swear, if you say Barry the blacksmith.
Orin will do it. He'll be
Orin?
done with his trance by then.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what, like 4 hours, I think, for a training. So, okay.
so Orin will take the last watch. Should've
Remington
saved.
kind of points out there and goes, and then points at the broken part of the ceiling and says, and goes to sleep.
Or Orin takes his meeting.
Yeah. What would you like Orin to do during that?
Let's see, is there any means that I would be able to get up to that opening on the inside? Like anything I could stack or climb?
You could attempt to stack. There's a barrel, and it's empty, but there are pews still in there, probably 3 or 4 that you could attempt to try and stack up, makeshift. And the roof, that opening is about 12 feet high.
Mm.
So you would need roughly 6 to 7 feet to really be able to try and, with your arms, like kind of pull yourself up.
And would I be able to do that? And I couldn't keep an effective watch while I was working on something like that.
It will take you a minute to, not a literal minute, like it'll take you a little bit of time to.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to do that. I'll just sit quietly and intently observe my surroundings.
Go ahead and do a perception at disadvantage, of course.
Oh shit! I shouldn't have taken this watch because.
Or wait, you still need 8 hours, right? That was so
Natural 1.
Natural 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Towards the end of your watch, your eyes are drifting. You feel yourself getting heavy. And then you hear the boards underneath, the floorboards, begin to creak as it sounds like nails that are holding the boards down are lifting out a little bit. Just ever so slightly, and it looks like something's trying to push from underneath.
But I noticed this before anything has broken
no.
through. Okay.
No. And that's what stirs you, is the sound of it. And then you hear the barricade at the door begin to go. And one of the pews snaps. And then you hear. And the horde is trying to break through. There's still one pew. But you're awake at this point. And the others are stirring. They're looking. They're hearing the ground kind of lift. And what would you like to do?
I call out, "To arms! Danger! To arms!"
Everyone definitely stirs. Barry gets a long rest. And who else didn't take a watch?
Drake.
Drake, you have a full long rest already.
Good.
The others
Any of
that
those
took a
ones?
watch will need to finish this to get the full
Have I had a
short rest.
short rest?
Yep.
Okay.
So
cool.
those who
So I
you
do
can-
get a spell slot back.
Yeah,
from
you
that.
can do short rest if you took a watch, but then you'll get a long rest at the end of this last watch. So all of you rouse, pull out your weapons, your staves, and you wait. Anybody readying anything?
Yeah, I have my axe ready.
Okay.
Whatever pops up, I'm swinging at it.
Okay. All right, where are you standing? Towards the door?
Yeah, I would say I'm kind of between the door and the group.
Okay.
Where, because I want to make sure I'm the first one there.
Understood. Okay. Anything you guys are doing?
Drake would immediately jump up and unsheath his rapier, so he's ready. He would more than likely be kind of like in a back corner where he could prop up.
Okay.
Because usually when he goes into his trance, think of like Blade or just like a samurai where they're sitting cross-legged and his sword draped upon his legs. So he's just
Gotcha.
kind of like that. And he just pops up and he's ready.
Okay. Orin, anything you wanna?
I have Firebolt ready.
Okay. Remington.
Similarly, well, he stands ready with his Warhammer.
Okay. You guys stand there.
Or you know what? No, Sacred Flame. At the ready.
Sacred Flame. Okay. So you guys are standing there waiting. And the floorboards, the creaks stop. And the boards are slightly bowed up, and you can see some of the nails are up higher than the others. And the sounds at the door stop. And everything goes silent again. What do you do?
Shit our pants.
It's adequate reaction.
Is it daytime? Is that what's going on?
I don't believe dawn has come yet.
Where are you located? Are you up on the top?
I don't know, where am I located?
You were keeping watch, so where would you have kept watch? Up on the kind of rubble pile, or did you?
I mean,
move?
I probably would have just been like away from the openings of the building, keeping
Okay.
an eye out.
So you're maybe in the middle of the building, but up against a wall. Yeah, so that's where you are.
I'm going to go try to like quietly get up to the top of the rubble and look out.
Okay, and it is dim light at this point. Or sorry, you guys went to sleep early, so it's still dark.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and disadvantage.
Perception?
Yeah. Unless you're trying to be stealthy.
I
then
was
roll-
trying to be.
do stealth
quiet.
first.
That's still disadvantage.
Yep.
That is a 7.
7.
Yeah.
You're stumbling
Actually, 8.
up, and
It's an 8.
there's pieces of stone falling from your footfalls. And actually, at one point, your foot slides and hits the board that had been cracked, and it falls through. And you see only 1.5 of the pews are still standing.
Okay.
And you're at the top. Go ahead and give your perception.
Could I roll any worse tonight?
We're going strong. So
That's a 6.
6. Similar thing, but now no swaying. They're all just standing, all facing, and they are looking at you. The skeletons, empty sockets, but you can see just the. And then the zombies, you can see the kind of just the light reflecting off their eyes, watching you, but not moving.
My friends, they're just looking and not moving.
Well, that's better than eating us.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. They're just standing there looking.
How is the lump in the floor looking now?
Still quiet. Would you like to inspect it?
Not particularly. If I still had a familiar, I'd have them do it.
What does it take? 10 minutes?
I don't
Takes an hour.
have the
Takes an
hour.
components or the gold.
Well, it takes an hour too, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing's just still the silence, right?
Silence. The sound of silence.
Well, damn, my perception. I mean, it's better than my previous characters, but it's still kind of crap. Barry, I'll kind of whisper, Barry, come. Help me stack up a few things so I can peek out this hole.
You're talking about in the corner?
Yeah.
And you see he's like, he wants to help, but you see he's frozen in place. And you can see his hand is shaking. I told you I didn't want to come in. It's back. I thought it.
What it?
undead. That's what gave my brother his scar. And then we ran in here and it nearly broke down the door that you see on the ground there. We held it in place for 10 hours straight. 10 hours it tried to get to us.
Well, I think we should try to see from a higher vantage point. We obviously will not be able to escape through the front door. Something was trying to get in here from below. We need to see whether we have an avenue of escape outside, which we can do from the roof. And if we do not, perhaps we should take our chances with whatever is beneath these floorboards before it decides to...
From beneath, and you see the boards crack. I rolled for how long it would take to actually. Roll initiative.
Oh, that is also an ability check, by the way, so it'll be at disadvantage.
Indeed it is.
I should have saved my portent.
Yes!
Thank you, Eldritch Foundry die. Give me some better rolls, but
All right. Anyone above 20, shut your whore mouth.
I'm not above 20, but I'm still.
All right. I need to roll for Barry.
Did you roll for Remy?
I did. Thank you.
Okay. So bad 2 is Barry the blacksmith. Bad 1 is whatever it is.
is something.
Anyone above 10?
19.
Remington's 18.
Nice. 16 for Drake.
And Orin is 14.
You were 14?
Mm-hmm.
And you were 16?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I did go in between you. What is Remington's dex? Do you know?
He has a +0.
So we'll say Barry is definitely faster. Okay. Kevward, you are up first. Bursting through the ground. And let's go ahead and move this just so we can see. It's still in place, but just so you guys can see the layout. And you guys are all close quarters.
Well, our horses are in here as well, are they not?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the building is actually a little bit bigger than what that looks like. I'm gonna have to move this just so you guys can get. So Orin, where's your mini?
The wizard on the farthest away from you.
You were in the corner, or up against the wall. Drake was attempting to get to the corner here.
Correct.
With Barry the blacksmith.
Which is that one?
And he was in right here. You were trying to convince him to go.
Might we not have gathered our beasts of burden to some corner of the place?
I would have said
Yeah, you could. Which corner would you like them?
One away from the door.
So that corner.
Okay.
Because the front door was.
So they're all right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're all in that space. They're all.
And I'm at the door.
Where was Remington?
You can put him opposite Orin.
Like here?
Yeah, I don't remember the last thing he was doing.
And this is where it breaks through the center of the ground. Some area where the pews had been originally, possibly the weight of that had been holding those boards in place. And in front of you, you see this grotesque, large, undead creature. Humanoid, but it looks like about the size of a Goliath. But you can see it has 4 arms. Ape-like almost in face. Just like rotting half of its face. You can see its jaw and its actual teeth on the right side of its face. Rotting flesh down the whole right side. Both of its arms on its right, you can see these are all muscular on the left side. The right are more decayed and withered looking. And you can see it start beating its chest. Kevward, you are up.
Seeing this, I'm going to go into a rage and run up to him and hit him with my great axe.
Go ahead. So you move up.
Yeah, that's cocked. 15.
15.
Yep.
That hits.
Cool, that's 1d12 plus 5. And is that a 7 or a 1?
7.
Okay. 7.
It is hard to see.
12 damage.
12. You're within 5 feet of it. Anyone within 5 feet will do a Constitution. So do a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's fine.
You said 12 damage.
And that's a
Bludgeoning or piercing?
great axe. So
So that's piercing.
yeah, no slashing.
Slashing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Constitution's at a disadvantage, right? Saving
Correct.
throw? That's 12.
12. Go ahead and take 4 psychic damage. That's your turn. Anything else?
That is it. I raged. I moved.
Okay.
I attacked.
Barry the blacksmith. You see him take his hammer and rush forward and slam at. He got a full long rest, so he doesn't have disadvantage for attacks because he had 2 points of exhaustion. Or no, he has 1.
Well, you don't get disadvantage on attacks or saving throws till 3 points.
Oh, it's 3
It's
points.
just
Okay.
ability checks at rank 1.
Gotcha. So 1. Natural 1. Yeah, he swings and misses. I mean, just whiffs. And you can see him trying, like, staying put, but you can see him leaning back and holding his hand out in front of him as if, like, that's going to stop anything. Remington is up, then Drake.
Okay. Remington holds aloft his holy symbol, which I'm sure Joel knows what it is, and casts Bless on, let's see, it's up to 3 creatures, so it's going to be you, and, should I do Remington or Barry? Remington's still exhausted, isn't he?
Yeah. Yes, he took a watch.
Okay, it's the 2 of you and Barry are blessed.
Okay.
All right.
Barry.
So remind us.
It's a
It's a-
D4.
D4
So any
on
D20
every
roll.
attack roll
Nice.
or ability check.
Is that Remington's, or is that Remington's turn?
That is his action. He is. Is he currently? Is he close enough that he's about to take damage from this guy's apparent aura or whatever?
Oh, he's within 5 feet. Yeah, he needs to do a Constitution save.
Okay, so he needs that now.
Yeah, sorry, that should have been once he moves within 5 feet of it.
His Constitution save is 12.
1 psychic damage.
All right.
Also, each of you hear at the door and at the sides of the building the scratching and clawing again. So, and that's Remington's turn.
Yeah, that was his action. I don't really have like a bonus action for him, really.
Drake,
So-
you are up. Bad one on deck.
Okay. Well, Drake has his rapier out, and he brings the steel blade up to his lips, and as he's doing that, he's reaching into his component pouch and producing a diamond. And as he brings that up, you hear him whisper, "Eureka!" And a little brief flash of Levimpor comes out, and he activates his blade song.
Okay.
So yeah, now my AC is up to 19. And I
Take an
get-
inspiration dice.
Ooh, I will take that inspiration. And then, having said that, my action, I will cast Chromatic Orb at the big ugly right there.
Okay.
Alright, so...
I don't recall. Is there a save with that?
think
Or
that
is
was
It's an attack roll.
Okay.
Now we'll choose fire damage. Motherfucker.
What is it?
It's a 10.
That hits. It's a zombie.
Well, still though.
It's undead. They don't have armor.
He's a big zombie though. So.
He is. It's a little bit higher AC,
Whew.
but not crazy.
Okay. All right, so I need 3d8. So that'll be 9, 10. So that's 11 fire damage coming right at him.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
And then I will just swing around enough to put myself in between me and my brother and him.
Okay.
You go over there.
That is bad one. The creature is up. Orin, you are on deck.
Okay.
All right. The creature pulls itself further out of the hole and looks about, and you hear just a guttural and it slams its arms, all four of them. The two left are going to go at Remington, it would be at you, because you're on its left side. Okay.
So I get 2 attacks?
Yep. Oh, did you go within 5 feet of it?
I'll let you judge. Again, Orin was right there, so I'm putting myself in between.
Yes, that's 5 feet, so do a constitution. Luckily, one of the attacks was a natural 1, so with the same dice, so I'm not going to use that. And the other one was 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay, so you will take 12 bludgeoning damage.
Is that half?
No, so 12 is what it's going to hit, so 6 for your rage.
22 on Drake's con save.
Okay, so you take half in psychic. 3 psychic damage. Rolled 6. These are the 2 attacks coming at one at Drake, one at Remington. Remington does a 21 hit.
Let's
It
see.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
AC is 19, so it hits.
Why is his AC 19?
He has heavy armor.
And a sword.
Chain. It's
Or
not
and a
plate,
shield.
It's chain.
And he did the forge. One
Right,
entry.
right. No. I was thinking about plate, but he has chain
Yeah.
at this point in the game.
Yeah, and then also has a shield.
Remington takes. Sorry, Joel. 19 bludgeoning damage.
He's down.
Clear it down. Clear it down.
And then Drake takes, or does a 15 hit you.
It does not.
Doesn't with Blade Song.
Woo!
Okay. Okay. That's its turn. Orin, you're up.
Okay.
Orin
Fuck.
just lost the healer.
This guy makes 4 attacks around. We're dead.
Not necessarily. You guys did a big chunk, and we'll see what you do. You guys did already 23 damage to it. And you still have you to go.
Yeah, Orin is going to sidle along the wall, staying far away from the creature.
Okay.
Try to get over toward Remington.
Okay.
But even if he doesn't make it this round, I'm still going to prioritize staying away from the creature.
Like 30-ish, like right over here.
Okay. Are you trying to get to him to heal him? Is that what you're trying to give a potion, or?
Well, if I use the help action, well, you know what? We don't have any way of stabilizing him. He's the guy that can do that.
You guys, I believe somebody has a healing potion. Somewhere.
I don't. Have
It may have been Remington. I don't recall.
Yeah, it might have been him, but
So.
Well, it ain't me.
it's not me.
Oh, whatever. I'll
Yeah.
still be over closer to him, and I'll cast Firebolt at the thing.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the hit.
That's going to be 17 to hit.
Was that disadvantage because you got a short rest but not a long rest, right? So you're still.
My attack rolls and saving throws
Oh.
are not at disadvantage. That's 3
I'm
exhaustion.
sorry.
Uh,
Sorry, 17s?
17 to hit.
That hits. Roll that damage.
1 fire damage.
Yours was fire damage? Chromatically? You did 11 damage, right? I think it was. So
That sounds right, yes.
I forgot a feature of it.
Has it been 8 hours since my last cast of Mage Armor? I don't remember what time that was. I think it was like late afternoon.
It has.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Okay. As the flame hits it, you see both its arms that were withered are just limp, hanging at its side. Anything else on your turn?
No, that's all I got.
Okay. Kefward, you are up.
Gonna
And then
make a-
Barry the Blacksmith. And
I'm
then
gonna swing
Remington.
at him.
Swing away.
You are
That
blessed, don't forget.
Yeah, I rolled the bless too. That is.
Did you bless Barry?
Oh wait, no,
You know
bless
what?
is down.
Yeah, Remington's down. Nobody's
It's
blessed.
15
Oh.
still. I rolled a 15.
I did
That
bless
hits.
Barry, but
Roll your damage. Dang.
it doesn't matter.
Ooh, that's good. That's 12.
12 bludgeoning?
No.
Slashing, or piercing, I mean?
14.
14.
14 to hit.
14
Damage.
damage.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay.
I rolled a-
Anything else?
that will be it for my turn. That's all I can do.
Okay. Barry the Blacksmith is going to swing away again on it. Natural 20.
Nice.
Yes.
Conquer your
Somebody
fear,
here can
Barry.
And roll the 1.
The highest of highs, the lowest of lows.
And you see one more of the arms on that creature hang limp. It only has that one muscular one still, and that has withered. The one that's hanging limp now.
So at each time we've seen this thing take damage this turn, we've seen one of the arms. Okay. know.
It is Remington's turn. Drake on deck.
Death save. Failure.
Death save. It doesn't matter if you had exhaustion, right? For disadvantage or not?
No, that's a saving throw.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it would if he had 3 points.
Oh, so my Constitution saving throws I've been doing at disadvantage the entire time.
Oh,
Well, you didn't
you
get
shouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah.
No.
So my last one I shouldn't have even done against the person.
Is anybody within 5 feet that
I
wasn't
am.
before?
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
for the first time. First time. All right. Drake, you are up. Baddie on deck.
Okay, so let's see. I don't get to add a bonus for Green Flame Blade yet.
Do it.
Do it!
Casting cantrips is what wizards usually do in combat.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking because I think it's level 5 when I get the fire.
the extra D8. Yeah.
Yeah, the fire damage. That's what I was looking at. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna stay. I'll stay right where I'm at.
What you doing?
Because that's gonna be range attack. Would a range attack be disadvantage right there? Am I too close?
You're within 5 feet, so yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm gonna do an attack with my rapier.
Okay. Absolutely.
Natural 19.
That hits.
5, so 24. Come on, baby. 6 slashing damage.
All right. Anything else on your turn?
I'm just gonna yell out, "Keep your heads, guys! We got this!"
The creature, and it slams like backhands at Kevward. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
6.
Gonna use my stone's endurance.
Well, it's
As a-
bludgeoning, so it's only 3.
Yeah,
With rage.
that's true. That's true.
So
My bad. Yeah, that's fine. I'm still looking all right. But rough.
in Stone's Endurance, it just happens when you fall to 0.
No, it's a reaction. You're reduced to damage.
Oh,
You're thinking of what Grog does.
Oh, I think higher level, yeah.
Yeah.
You do that
oh,
when you rage.
gotcha. Okay. So
We
that's
still babies.
that's its
Yeah.
turn. Warren, you're up. And then Kevward.
Orin casts Firebolt again.
Do it.
9.
That hits. Yeah, that's its
Gotta
AC.
love that
is
negative
9.
dex.
Yeah.
That is 5 fire damage.
Flavor it for me a little.
Really?
Mhm.
All right.
And the clawing all stops.
All right. Orin looks scared. He's trying to get over to Remington. This beast is standing in the middle, slamming at everyone around him, and he's conserving magical power to protect himself. So he decides to just pop it with fire, because it seems like it doesn't hit as much when it gets hurt. And so he just lands a small fireball on its face, and it stands there for a moment. Its arms fall limp, and then it drops to its knees and falls forward. And Orin stands there.
And as it falls, you actually see it collapse into the hole that it had like dug into the ground. And you can see a tunnel beneath it. Congratulations, you are out of combat.
All right, we've got to attend to Remington.
Does anybody have a healing potion? Why am I English now for berries?
I don't know, but I mean, he's a cleric. He should have at least a medicine kit or something in his pack.
I'll start going through his bags and see what he's got on
Okay.
him.
Go ahead and do investigation. Barry moves forward and he goes, well, I've got this if we need it. It's kind of like a break in case of emergency, and it's he hands it across to Kevward. He hands the red bubbly liquid potion vial, hands it to him.
Like, I turn the bag over, like, there's nothing in here to help.
You have a healing potion.
I'm just like,
Pour it.
I snatch it from him, like, pop the cork, like, tenderly part Remington's lips. No, I just, like, grab his beard and yank his mouth open and, like, pour it down his throat.
And as it hits his lips, you hear kind of like a baby. And
Then he goes, let's see, that's
is it 2d4 plus?
2d4 plus 4, I
I
believe.
think so.
yeah, for
regular potion?
Yeah, 2d4 plus
I've
4.
got it in
Nice, he got 11 back.
11.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
We love you, Joel. Don't die on us, buddy.
Wow, that's a good roll.
a good roll.
I rolled a 4 and a 3.
For on a single. Yeah.
That's a good roll.
Common is 2d4 plus 2, actually. So
9.
Okay, so it was 9, still really
that's
good.
still really good.
Mhm.
And the sound of the jungle, you can hear it just slightly now. Is anyone going to look out over the fields at all, or are you guys just
yeah.
good in?
check.
Drake's gonna kind of, you see, just flame resting in the palm of his hand, like he holds a firebolt ready as he looks over.
Give it perception.
Yeah, I'm looking as well.
Okay, perception.
Disadvantage.
Checks.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
plus 1.
19.
A 17. For
At
Drake.
disadvantage?
Yeah, I rolled
Wow.
a 19 and a 15. I got
for
plus
Drake.
4.
So you both peek out up over, and you just see the just littered bodies laying on the ground, and they all look like it wasn't like they all. It looks like they're all collapsed. Some of them, you can see like a limb has fallen off. It's just like a field of dead bodies and skeletons.
And I go over and just start comforting my horse, who I'll give a name eventually.
And it's just
And, I'll just dissipate the flame and
it's still dark out.
actually, so it is zombie dude. Is his ass like hanging out, or is he like fully into the tunnel?
Its
I'll look
ankles
down.
and like calves are still out, but
Looking in. What
In
do I
its-
see?
in its butthole.
No, in the tunnel.
Oh, in the tunnel. So you look down, listen. The tunnel, it looks like, so it goes straight down for about 5 feet, and then it looks like it curves off this way, north. Continues underneath where the...
You don't keep a familiar, do you, brother?
I do not.
Hmm.
That was more, your field of study than myself.
Do we wish to investigate this hole before we continue to rest? Or
If
move
not-
on?
If nothing else, I feel we should, at least put more crap in there to at least block it.
I'll start moving crap.
And Barry helps too. What? Did everybody get the rest they need?
No.
Well, how about those who didn't? Go ahead and I can do this. Remington,
I can as well.
whoever.
I took a little bit of damage, but I got
So
my
it's
rest.
just you and
so
Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like to, if we can, venture down a bit just to make sure there isn't more coming up.
By the sounds of it, it seems like everything's gone, and that's the creature that tried to kill my brother and I.
Well, if you don't think it's worth the effort, then I'll trust your
By all
judgment.
means, I want to get out of here as soon as possible. So, you guys, you need what? 1, 2? How many hours do you need more?
Just until dawn, maybe.
By the looks of it, and he looks outside and he can see the moons, and you can tell. Sun will be rising in about an hour or so.
Well, then I shall continue to rest.
Well, Drake and I will we'll keep watch. I don't think there's anything else by the sounds and looks of things. But we'll plug the hole.
Yeah. So I guess first off, we'll tag team plugging the hole, and then
Yeah,
Drake phrasing.
we had to do one.
It's been
Sorry,
a while.
that's inappropriate. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm ashamed of you both.
So
Filling the hole, and then after that, I guess I would go out and just start firebolting like the zombies and stuff on the outside.
No reaction. I mean, you do 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
basically
5.
just to kind of clear.
And they don't catch fire. It looks like, I mean, their bodies have all begun to decay quite rapidly, even more than they already were. Not like in front of you like this, but like it should be the exact same. It's only been 30 minutes or so. But it looks like things that when you had peeked before had already started to wither a little bit more.
Can I make an investigation check to see if there's any?
You want to go out there?
Well, yeah, that's
Investigate?
what. Yeah, I was gonna go out and.
Absolutely. I mean, you're slender enough you can fit through that opening above the door without opening the barricade. Because remember, it was about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. So roll investigation. This is a check. Oh, you got a full rest.
14.
14. What are you looking for exactly?
Well, just if there's anything I might know why the decay would increase that much, or if there's any special markings, say, on the
Being an
bodies.
arcane practitioner, more than holy or medicine even, it's hard for you to tell. It doesn't seem like, if anything, it's dark with M4. It's
So I get like a feel of unease just going out there being around them.
Who all touched the coin? It was you
I was the only one that touched it with my bare
and
hands.
Orin did.
But I don't think he had touched it with his bare hands.
I did.
At
I had to
one
make
time.
the save.
Yes, that's right.
But
So
I made it. So.
Yeah. You don't figure out why, but in your routing you find a few coins, just like coin purses that are tied loosely to some of them. These look like they were probably people that were buried here by the state of them. Most of them are human. And so you find 80 copper pieces,
Ooh la la.
7 silver pieces,
7 silver pence.
25 gold pieces, and 2 bracken ingots. Small little ones, though. About this size.
Bracken?
Bracken. It's a form of dwarven metal. And you'll find about that next time.
Okay.
That's where we'll end tonight.
Nice. Wow. That
All
was that was looking scary there for a bit.
I heard you describing 4 arms, and I was like, oh my god, this is another pit fiend situation. We're outclassed.
No, there was a real downside to it.
Yeah, we needed to damage it to deactivate its attacks, and it's lucky that we did that.
Yeah, you guys did quite a bit of damage that first round.
You tossed me that, the red dice of shame.
So, thank you for joining us for this session. Please like, subscribe, share us with your friends if you like it. If you didn't, sorry, let us know what we can do better. But maybe like in a DM.
Well, I mean, you better be nice about it, because I don't really care what you think.
But we'll be back next month. We do every Sunday, every first Sunday of every month, unless it's a holiday. Then we just do the next, or be the week before. If you'd like, leave us reviews, share us, check out our merchandise, and until we see you again, I don't want to say what is normally said, so stay classy.
Keep rolling.
Yeah, keep rolling.
There's your catchphrase. Bye.